We start out with our agents from the Defenders of Twilight. They are headed to the large city of Wigston Pay to investigate a report of a possible vampire that has attacked some of the citizens there in the city of Wigston Pay. This is what's called an expedited mission, which means basically they need to get there as fast and convenient as they can. But unfortunately, the mission to get to Wigston Pay has brought nothing but problems. Their coachman, by the name of Hanson, a tall, young, blonde man that works for the organization, also has been ferrying them to the city. But unfortunately, all these problems have occurred. First, one of the horses develops some type of problem and is not able to keep up with labored breathing. They have to stop at a village, replace that horse with another one. They get back on the road, trying to expedite their time even more. Then one of the carriage wheels starts having an issue, and they have to stop in a little village to have it repaired. Back on the road again, making haste. Hanson driving the horses probably harder than he should, hoping the carriage wheel does not come off again. Haste, haste, haste to gain the lost time. But sure enough, it seems that fate has something else in store for our agents. As they start approaching and going into the middle of a storm, see thunder, lightning, the rain starts falling on the coach roof. Of course, Hanson, being the brave young man he is, continues on in the storm until the coach comes to a sudden stop on the main road. And you hear one word from Hanson: "Damn it." Yang, tell me who you're playing this evening and what type of agent he is.
Tonight I'm going to be playing as Sir James Bind, Agent 0025, the vampire hunter of the Defenders Against Twilight. He's a seasoned veteran vampire hunter. He's been around since his days as a young man, and he's just thrilled. He was excited to finally be assigned a case where he might have a chance to stake another vampire. But he looks quite frustrated at the fact that there's been numerous delays, and he looks out the window and says, "Hanson, what is going on out there?" He's wearing leather brown coat. Underneath the coat, he's wearing this fine chain shirt, which protects him against vampires. He's also wearing a chain collar this time that protects his neck. And across his back, he has a shield and a longsword. He also carries a walking stick, which from the previous games is shown to be a Remington rifle that's in disguise.
All you hear back from Hanson is you can hear him climbing down off of the coach to the ground. You hear him go, "Another problem, sir." As we jump over to Daniel, if you can tell us about who you're playing and what type of hunter he specializes in.
So I'm playing Shahzada, also known as Shah. He hunts the infernal demons that haunt the deserts from his home country, and he's come here to rid the rest of the world, since he's done a pretty good job killing all the ones there. He's dressed in fine clothes with a ring shirt below covering his well-muscled chest, and he's very oily. Yep.
We jump over to one of the older party members sitting next to you. Mac, who are you playing and what does he hunt?
I'm playing Klaus Vandermolen. Klaus is a lycanthrope hunter. Former soldier, then became a very successful businessman. Had several mills. A couple of werewolves came through, cleaned out his family, and he is avowed to extinguish every werewolf that should walk the face of the earth and throw all his resources into that. So he donates heavily to Twilight and just wants to see nothing but the better end. Before he dies himself, he knows that there is some sickness that he is struggling with. He's dressed in finer clothes, but he is a riding man. And being a former soldier, he knows how to conduct himself. So there appears to be, he's got some armor and normally has a gorget around his neck, particularly when assigned to something like vampires.
And we jump over to the last party member in the carriage, and to give a quick recap, Crystal, since you dropped for a moment, basically your party has had nothing but trouble as you're traveling in a coach, which is being driven by the young man known as Hanson that works for the organization also, but you've had nothing but trouble. Horse went lame. You had to replace the horse. You've had the carriage wheel go out. There's been nothing but problems. And about 10 minutes ago, you started into a storm. It's been raining and thunder and lightning. The coach made a sudden stop, and you just hear Hanson went, "Damn it." And you hear him go reply to Sir James, "Another problem, sir." So, Crystal, if you can tell us who you're playing that's in the coach and what do they hunt?
I am Sir Edward Finley. Yes, I was right. I hold a knightly title, and I expect all to respond to me as such. After all, failing to address me by my title would be an insult to me, and you do not want to insult me. As for these delays, it's obvious my chosen prey, the Fae, are up to all of this. I mean, a horse going lame, a wheel falling off, now a storm, and some urgent matter which has stopped us in our tracks. It's straight out of the Fae handbook. Of course, they don't know that I am just as eager to see them as they are to see me. I will get out of this carriage and go see what is the matter. The simpletons probably cannot fix them. Let's see what I can do.
As you exit the carriage, Sir Edward, to go and make contact with Hanson, the driver, you come out and appear. The rain is not that heavy. It's kind of a medium rain, enough to just aggravate someone without any proper clothing or gear. But as you come out and you appear 30, 40 foot down in front of the coach on the main road, you can tell the whole main road has been blocked. There's these huge, large, massive oak trees that have come across. There's probably some wind come through here and has uprooted them, and they're blocking the whole of the main road that you're traveling to get to the city that you need to get to, is what you see as Hanson stands there looking straight ahead without saying anything else.
I would like to walk around. Is it several trees or just like one big one?
It's a couple big ones. They're massive, large, old oaks.
I'm going to go down to the roots of one of the oaks, and I want to see what. Does it look like there are? Does it look like it may have, quote unquote, naturally fallen due to like wind and rain?
Oh yeah, you can definitely tell that it's natural from the storm. That probably these things were not well rooted anymore due to their age, and there was probably some wind, heavy wind, come through here with this storm earlier, and it's just completely pushed them over.
How convenient. I'll walk back. I'm going to look around. Do I see any any side paths or any way around?
You look for a few moments, and you notice it's late afternoon. I mean, it's not quite night yet, but getting close, of course, with the storm covering the clouds. Of course, it's quite a bit darker naturally, but you notice a side road that appears to go off and veer off of the main road. It doesn't seem to be, you'd call it the road less traveled as you look and see, but it's probably enough width for a coach to go through there, but that's all you can see. You see no way around to stay on the main road at all.
Okay, before I talk about this side path, I want to quickly check around the trees and like sort of like if maybe I can do a D20 find something. But what I'm specifically looking for is maybe carved into the trees or hanging some kind of like homemade like witchy symbol, like the kind of thing they'd make out of like twigs and branches and stuff. Because I'm thinking, you know, having been delayed this many times by these, you know, that's what I want to look for.
Yeah, roll me a D6.
Can I add any bonus or just straight up?
Well, you
D6?
got a three out of 6.
Okay, I made a 2.
A 2, okay. Yeah, you see nothing to indicate anything that would raise your suspicions about something involved, the Fae or anything. There's nothing. You can spend however much time, but there's nothing. Everything appears to be pretty natural with what this is so far.
There's been enough delay here. We ought to either move the trees or be on our foot and walk to our destinations.
It would appear that there is a side trail over here. Perhaps we should travel it. It's perhaps big enough for our carriage, assuming that our drivers can actually drive it.
When we're looking at the trees, what does it look like? I mean, are they of the size that there's a possibility that combined strength of the people that are there might be able to move it?
Oh, no, there would be no way. I mean, these things are massive, and even if you had the proper hand equipment to saw and chop and stuff, it would take you forever to try to get through this mess.
Yeah, Sir James turns to the others and says, "There might be vampires already preying upon the innocent people. We cannot just stand here and try to hack at the trees. Those of who says that we walk there, say aye."
We do not have to hack at the tree, old man. Did you not hear me? There's a side trail. It's just there. I'm sure it leads around.
I am too impatient to have found that. Of course. Yes, you may be right.
Are the rest of you up for a good romp through the forest then?
I say that is a good idea.
All we have to do is just back the horses. We can take the carriage in. Henson's a good man.
Indeed, Klaus. I do agree.
I have yet to see the good of him.
You're too judgmental.
Let us take the side path. Shaw sticks his head out and then puts it back in the carriage.
It seems like we have an accord here.
Hanson, we are all out of agreement. We shall take this side path, back the horses up, and continue along the way. And then Edward will just get in the carriage and shut the door.
You hear in reply, "Yes, sir." Hanson brings the carriage and the horses back enough to cut down this side path. And sure enough, as you start to go, you can see some of the limbs and stuff that are hanging up closer to the carriage. There's enough room for the carriage to make it, but it's not quite as wide and as level as the main road was. But he starts down this side path as you start going through a forest. You continue for maybe 10 minutes. It's starting to get darker from regular time, natural time, and of course the rain has let up quite a bit, but it's still enough to pitter-patter onto the carriage enough that it's a light rain falling. Hanson is moving the horses along. Then all of a sudden you hear on the rooftop itself, you hear something slam on top of the carriage top. And you hear Hanson go, "Good lords, my sir!" The carriage stops abruptly as you're kind of pushed forward.
Hanson, what is going up there?
You get no reply.
Fire through the roof.
You broke up, Crystal. All I heard was roof.
Edward says, "Did fire through the roof."
Shaw looks at Edward and then opens the carriage door and steps out and looks up top.
This is what you see as you look up to the top. You see Hanson pretty much in fright, sitting there holding the reins. But what you see is this. On top of the carriage top. It appears to be something that is not of this world, that you would know it's something that appears to be half humanoid and half bat with these wings. It's just sitting there on top of the carriage with this saliva and stuff running out of its mouth.
All right, if no one else will do it, I'll do it myself. Edward's going to pull his sword from its sheath, his +1 sword, which the blade glows with a light blue hue to it. And he's going to just stab it straight up there.
Everybody can roll initiative. Klaus, as soon as you see this thing, you know that this is some type of lycanthrope and possibly a werebat. So you can add your bonuses and everything to fight this creature as you do. Yang, what did you get on initiative?
It's D6, right?
D12.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I got 6.
All right. Sir James on 6. Shah.
12.
Oh,
Nice.
you were surprised also then, Klaus.
2.
And Sir Edward.
1.
This creature that is staring at Klaus, I'm sorry, yeah, all of you really, but pretty much staring at Shaw and Sir Edward mainly, also got a 1. Sir Edward, lead us out.
All right, so as I said, Edward, the few others will do anything, and he gets sword from its sheath, and then he stabs it straight up through the caravan roof, attempting to hit whatever is up there. I mean, obviously that large thud was heard the driver again. Is that okay?
Yeah, you're going to try to attack it. Go right ahead.
All right, cool. I rolled, let me see. I got to look at I got a +1 for my sword and then a +4 for my hit. So that's a total of 17.
Yep, that hits.
And that will do a total of 4 points of damage.
All right.
Due to the magical blade of stardust.
You strike into this creature with your blade that has been blessed with some properties. This creature lets out a ow as it looks, but it looks back towards Shah, who is standing there, and it looks back towards the coachman who is frozen in fright. It lunges at you, Shah, and tries to bite you. And it is going to hit you, and you'll take 1 point of damage and make me a saving throw.
Okay, saving throw. 16, and I needed 10, so that should be good.
All right. Yeah, you just take the 1 point of damage as this thing bites into you someplace. Klaus, you see this creature of what you know it to be is just bit into your companion.
I fire my pistol at it.
All right.
And it strikes to a -2. And that does
-2.
4 points of damage.
What'd you say about -2? I missed that.
To AC -2.
Oh.
Also, yeah, okay. Roll me a d10 for the misfire.
Oh, yes, because that will happen. Oh, that's a 1.
Oh, no. Roll me another d10.
That is 6.
A 6?
Yep.
Your shot goes off, and it hits this creature, and as it does, it just like a poof of air. It's something, maybe the bullet was not seated right or something. It just kind of explodes as it hits the creature and actually does no damage to the creature.
Ah.
Sir James, you see all this going on as you're up next.
Yeah, the old vampire hunter jumps out of the carriage and draws his sword, and he leaps up, or tries to at least, and then swings at it. And I just got 23, armor class 23.
Oh, good Lord, yes, that'll hit.
Is it considered a giant bat?
No, it's actually a werebat. So I mean, it's a lycanthrope.
Okay, so he doesn't get any bonus, right? It is longsword is 1d6.
Yeah, or I believe that's right.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't have my deal open right now. I'm trying to find it.
He does 3 points of damage.
All right, you strike true into it, and as you hear it yell out and scream, as it spits out saliva, and you, Shaz, you're up next.
That's not very nice. I'm going to take my scimitar and draw it, and I'm going to say, "Beast from the hells, be gone!" And I'm going to swing at it with an 11 plus 5 is 16.
Yep, that will hit it.
Okay, awesome. And it's a d6. Only a 1, but it's +1, and I have +1 for my strength, so 3 points.
All right. You take another big chunk out of this thing as you see it appearing to want what it's going to do next as we go to the next round then. Let's see. Sir James, what did you roll on initiative?
6 again.
All right. What about Shaw?
7 this time.
Klaus?
5.
Man, we may all be in order. Chris, Edward. If you said anything, Crystal, I didn't hear you.
5 as well.
All right. The creature rolled a 3. It appears to be somewhat shaken up with all these successful attacks on it. You see it jump down from off of the carriage as it jumps down to the back, the rear portion of the carriage, and goes out of sight. Klaus, you and Sir Edward are on 5, so you two can go as you please.
Well, Klaus will grab one of his hand axes and make his way around the backside of the carriage then.
Yep, and you walk around, you're able to get down with your hand axe out as you move to the back of the carriage. As you see this creature is standing in the back of the carriage and it's, observing around of what's going on. It sees you. And if you want to, you're close enough that you can attack it if you like.
I shall do that. That is AC 11.
That will miss it as it jumps out of the way. Sir Edward,
Where?
you've heard this thing land
Is
behind
there
the carriage.
Is there like a window at the back of the carriage? Like a window you can look out?
There is not in this one. This one does not have one. It just has regular side windows.
All right, then I'll like bring my sword out. I reach like around to my back and like a hand at the window at the back of the caravan. Can I see it?
You're breaking up real bad for me. I heard something about reach around your back, and that's pretty much all I got out of that.
Let me try to refresh.
Is she breaking up for y'all too, or is it just me?
Yeah, she is for me too.
Okay.
Female.
Yeah, same with me.
Okay.
I heard okay is all I got out of that.
Testing.
I can
One,
hear
two,
you.
three. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, try
Okay.
it now.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn my settings down as well on camera right now.
All right.
But around his back, out his hand crossbow, and he quickly leans out the caravan window, and he's just gonna like aim around back to try and like see this thing if he can get a sight on it.
You will not actually be able to get any kind of vision on it. Now you can try to shoot it if you want to, but if you're going to do that, it's going to be a -4 to hit.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. That's fine. All right, so if I think I see, like, maybe when it moves from Rush's attacker, or I mean, not my Rush, from the werewolf hunter's attack, maybe I think I see it and I can hit it. I got a 14 to hit total. I rolled an 18.
Yep, you hear it yelp out as you hit it.
All right, and that was 1d6 -1, so that's 1 point of damage. So I probably just skimmed it, just barely, and it's not magical.
All right, well, you do hear it yelp out, though, as you do know that you made contact. As we go to you, Sir James.
Sir James dives under the carriage. I'm thinking that the wheels are large enough so that there would be ample space for him to dive under it.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, he dives under it and pulls out his walking stick / rifle and slides towards the back and tries to get a sight of it. Does he see it?
Yep, you see the creature standing there next to
Klaus
there.
Okay. As Klaus misses the shot, James says, "Here's one for you," and then fires away. And
Yep, roll me a
rolls-
D10.
Hold on a second. I rolled 1.
Oh my gosh. And I don't have my chart. I've been looking for my chart, but roll me another D10 and I'll come up with something.
I got 7.
All right. You shoot your deal up under there, and there's something about the moisture or something with the rain. As soon as you pull the trigger of your cane deal and you say, "Here's one for you," you just hear a poop as it doesn't go off at all.
This is terrible. And then he slams down the walking stick and grabs onto his sword for his next attack.
All right. Shah, all this is going on.
So Shah's gonna make his way towards the back of the carriage, and he's gonna say, "Did you all just move here? It's a rainy day. Of course your guns aren't gonna work." As I swing my scimitar at the beast. That time 12. So that doesn't hit, I'm guessing.
The beast barely moves out of your way, as you just took enough time to chastise your companions, and it got out of your way, though. So we'll go to the next round. Let's see. Sir James.
James has 6 again. Oh man, that's triple 6. That's no good.
That'd be good if we was playing a tiny game. You need 6s.
Yeah.
How about Shaw
3.
and Klaus
2.
and Sir Edward?
4.
Man, everybody is in a line, starting with Klaus at 2.
Excellent. I will hack at him again with my hand axe. I'll try to support myself a bit more on the back of the carriage and haul up and smack him. Oh, that's a critical fail.
Wow. Shaw's chastising has got to you as we go to Shaw next.
Exactly.
So I muscle my way in front and try to swing the scimitar. Now I'm just side eyeing him. I'm not going to say anything. 21 total.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Then d6 damage. Oh, where'd it go? 3 plus 2 is 5.
Yeah, you take a big chunk out of this thing as it screams and lets out a yell, piercing the dark night air as we go to Sir Edward.
Okay, I need to ask real quick, Tony. Do I need to take time to reload my hand crossbow?
No, I'm going to say. I mean, you can just shoot it once every run now.
Okay, all right.
You won't need to.
Yeah, so I'll say I reloaded it as I turn around to then pull my sword out of the top of the carriage, and now I'll actually like kick the door open and hop outside and run back towards the back of the caravan again. Do I see the creature?
Yep, you see the creature standing there with 2 of your companions engaged close next to it.
All right, then I'll quickly lower my hand crossbow again and shoot at it.
All right.
I rolled a total of 13.
That will hit it this time. You will hit it again.
All right, and that does 4 non-magical piercing damage.
You hear the creature yell out extreme agony. And as you hear this scream, you all hear like a fluttering sound. And as you do, you turn around, Sir Edward, as you see this flock of bats fly straight into you. And they swarm around your head and stuff, and they're trying to bite you. And they will with an 18. So this swarm of bats just starts nipping all around you, and you'll take 2 points of damage.
Okay.
Sir James, you see your friend swattering all these bats around him, and you also see this creature who is pouring blood and stuff out of it in front of you there.
What does he make out of the bats? Does he recognize it as like vampire form?
No, you can tell that it appears that this is just a swarm of probably just regular bats. It's something that has come to the aid of this creature.
Oh, Bobax, get out of there! And then I'll slash at this gigantic bat monster. And he charges at the monster and swings at it with his longsword. And roll 9, 15.
15 will hit him.
Great. And 1d6. 4 points of damage.
What do you do to bring this creature down where it's not moving now?
He clambers out from under the carriage, and as he does so, he thrusts it directly forward and catches him right in the stomach.
And this creature just completely falls over with one last shriek. This swarm of bats that is surrounding you, Sir Edward, you see them making little chirping noises. They just disperse and fly out into the woods. It is quiet again, as quiet as it can be.
Well, he certainly wasn't a vampire, but he did look like one.
Huh. So I look back and forth between Klaus and James, and I go back and I reach into my pocket and pull out a silver piece and I toss it to Klaus. Okay, you got it this time.
When these bats fly away, Edward he kind of like reaches down into like the water on the side of the road and like gets as much clean water as he can to kind of like clean the wounds off of his face and such. And he pulls his long blonde hair, thick, luscious hair back, and seems a bit upset that these bats seem to have given his face a little scratch. And then he reaches into this small sack he has tied to his side, and he starts to toss everyone an onion as he's brought a pound of onions in this sack.
As you're tossing onions to everyone, Hansen lets out a sigh of exasperation at the ending of his creature. So, Klaus, you're sitting there looking at the creature as you can see it start transforming back into the shape of a very small, elderly man that would appear to be in his mid-60s back into the human form that you would know they do.
Yep. I will separate his head from his neck.
Done.
Does Hansen okay to drive still?
Oh yeah, you can tell that he's okay. He just, of course, this shook him up of him not being a battle-worn veteran such as you four, but you would know he can gain enough composure to continue on.
I have a silver holy symbol. I'm gonna after his head is chopped off, I'm gonna shove this silver holy symbol in its mouth.
All right.
While you're at it, Sir Edward, why don't we stuff this garlic into his mouth just for good measure? And he takes out a little clove of garlic and stuffs it in there as well.
Oh my god.
Why don't you make yourself useful and burn the body?
Klaus shakes his head, gets inside the wagon, and says, aren't we supposed to be somewhere?
Yes, let's go. Klaus, do you recommend that we burn the body as well?
Burn the body? I'd say just throw it to the side.
Well, it works for me, so long as they don't rise as a vampire or something.
No, this isn't a vampire. This is a were creature. I just feel it in my bones.
It's been affected by dark magic all the same. Any dark magic that affects a creature may surely turn it undead. It would be the safest route to go ahead and burn the body.
As they're talking, I'm going to have Hansen just start to roll the wagon forward a little bit, like slowly.
Yeah, the carriage starts moving up, traveling the way you are very slowly as you see the horses start taking off.
We shall do so on the way back, perhaps. It seems like we have our quarry. We should hurry up.
Edward rubs his eyes a bit as he wonders why he's been sent with such incompetent people. But he'll travel with them all the same.
Yeah, Klaus will jump on.
Perhaps someone should ride up top with Hansen to protect him, Edward. Sir Edward.
Well, I suppose that I am the only one here with any common sense enough to know when actual danger is afoot.
Yes, for sure.
And Edward will go ahead and ride up top with Hansen.
Yeah, and like I say, Hansen, he's regained most of his composure, and he looks over. He's nervous, of course, being around you with sometimes the way you come across, but he says, we shall continue, good sir. Hopefully we can find a place to stop and obtain a hot meal and a hot drink.
I promise you, my boy, we shall find a place to stop upon this road. And I wager a gander that there will be very attractive women in this place.
Oh, let's definitely hope for that. That would put a pleasing sight upon my eyes.
I'm sure it would.
As you continue, Hansen continues forward with a little bit more fervor now after having the conversation just then with Sir Edward. You expect another 10 or 15 minutes passes. Sir Edward and Hansen being up top, you'll be the first to notice as you come out of the forest and start seeing some fields on both sides of the road. You start seeing the outline. Of course, it's pretty dark. The rain is pretty much stopped. It's just a real fine misty drizzle that is coming down now. But of course, the roads are wet, the fields are wet, the forest is wet from the storms. But you start seeing some outlying buildings, just a few. As you get closer and closer, you start seeing some lighting coming from inside one of the buildings. At one of the buildings close to the end, on further past the building where you see the lights at, you hear a loud booming and a loud noise of a hammer being brought down. As you look and can tell it's some type of blacksmith shop. You see a very large man in there that's working in this blacksmith shop. You can only see the outline of him. He's quite a ways away, but the building where all the lights are on, you can hear a bunch of joyous, raucous laughter and talking coming from that building. All the other buildings appear to be pretty dark and quiet. Nothing going on.
Do we stop?
Sir Edward?
I'm sorry. We can't.
Yeah, I mean, once we hear those, I mean, once I see those things, I mean, I'm already expecting to see something like this anyway, so I would expect that we're gonna stop. I mean, I've already told Hanson, yeah, we're definitely gonna find a place out here. Don't worry.
Hanson pulls up to the building that has the lights beaming out from inside of it. It's an old wood frame building. He stops. If the rest of you start exiting from the coach, you see a hand-painted sign hanging from the front of it that is very weathered and very aged. You can make out the first part of it. It says, "The Angels of," and the last word, you can't quite tell if it's an R or a P. Either it says "The Angels of Rain" or "The Angels of Pain."
How fitting.
Angels of Rain. That does make sense, considering that we rode through rain here.
Edward will, I mean, he's not really going to talk to anyone else. He's just going to go ahead and get off the cart. He'll say, you may come inside when the horses are put away. And he'll say that to Hans. And then he's just going to make his way inside the tavern.
What would the other three of you be doing as you exit the coach or the carriage and you see everything that's been described? Would y'all go on in with Edward, or does someone want to go with Hanson, or what would y'all like to do?
Sir James goes over to Hanson and says, "So, Hanson, how are you faring, my friend?"
I'll be mighty fine, sir, when I have a good drink, hot drink and hot food, and maybe something pleasing on the eyes, good sir.
Well, here's something for getting us safe over here. And he hands him 5 silver pieces.
Oh, well, thank you, good sir. I will take the horses and the carriage down to, I guess it appears there's a blacksmith shop down there, a gentleman still working at. I will have the horses secured and join you shortly.
Do we need to make any further repair on the wagon?
Oh, let's hope, sir, that it's good enough to get us to Wigston Pay tomorrow as we leave out. I hope we have no further problems.
Let us hope so as well. And then he walks into the inn.
When I walk into the inn, I want to sort of like slam the door open. I kind of want to like make an entrance, and I'll hold my head up high as I am a noble knight after all. I just kind of want to slam the door open, just kind of make it known that I'm there.
As you do that, Sir Edward, make your grand entrance. Of course, you hear the people talking and laughing inside. And as soon as you slam the door open, you may not be familiar with this old commercial, but some of you will probably know what I'm referring to. The old E.F. Hutton commercials about where everything just goes quiet.
Yep.
Everything just goes complete silence as you do that. You see roughly 15, maybe 20, 25 people sitting in there, turn and look towards you, Sir Edward. They say nothing. Some of them start murmuring and talking amongst themselves. The gentleman behind the bar is also a very large man, appears to be as large as the gentleman down at the blacksmithy. He looks straight at you and he just goes, "Greetings."
My icy blue eyes just sort of skim over the crowd. Each person I land on, it's almost like I'm just staring into their soul. And I'll slowly make my way to the bar as everything is quiet. The sound of my boots clunk, 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 clunk as I make my way to the bar. And then I'll set myself down and say, I'll have a bottle of wine, but none of the well water that you water down. I prefer my wine to be a full flavor. And I'll put a silver piece down on the bar.
He looks at you and he picks up the silver piece at first and he looks at it. He lays it back down in front of you and he goes, "We don't serve wine here."
Of course not. Very well. Give me the best of whatever you have.
We have one drink. It's called the Blasting Bitter Ale. I don't know if a man like you can drink it, though.
Oh, surely the laddie
one
can.
way to find out.
Sir James walks up behind Edward and slaps him on the back and says, "Come on, I'm quite certain that you shall like this. Get myself and my companions something to drink, will you?"
Give me some corn on the table for it.
And then, how much is it?
Well, it appears that the storms have caught you too. Only thing we have to eat is boiled eggs and ham. Can get you a plate of that and a pint of the Blasting Bitter Ale. About 2 silver pieces for each of you. So there's what, 4 of you?
Considering that these are my fellows, I shall pay for them. And he puts out 12 silver pieces. Keep the change.
And I'll make sure you get an extra egg and a piece of ham.
Good man.
Tony, if it's okay, I wanted to stay with the carriage to go to the blacksmith.
Yep, we'll jump back to that real quick then. You and Hanson make your way with the carriage and the horses down to the blacksmith. You see a sign on the outside that says Bender's Smithy. And this is a very large man. He's probably 6'6". And he's just wearing an apron with no shirt underneath it, with these bulging muscled arms that are from his natural work. He's bald-headed. It appears, quick look, he looks young, but then for a moment he looks older, maybe more middle-aged. It's hard to tell. He continues with his hammer pounding on some type of metal. Even though he's seen you come up, he says nothing at this point. He's just pounding and pounding on his forge there.
Okay. I'm going to walk up. I'm also kind of big and have bulging muscles and no shirt on. So we kind of match. So I'm feeling a little camaraderie. So I'll just cross my arms and watch him for a bit, waiting for him to be in a talkative mood, I guess. And I'm just going to tell Hanson, start to unhook the horses.
Yes, good sir. The gentleman keeps pounding on the hammer, but he stops for just a moment. He goes, "Is there something you need?"
We would like to stable our horses here this evening in the carriage. I thought it'd be rude to leave it without talking to you first.
I do have room for the horses. The carriage will have to stay out on the street. I'm afraid there's not room for a device such as that, but I can store your horses. You've got 2. I would think about a silver piece each.
That would be fantastic. Thank you, good sir. And
I can give them fresh hay and fresh water, of course. In the morning, I guess you'll be leaving out.
Yes, we'll leave in the morning. Have a pleasant evening. And I'll put the coin down, and I'll turn around and walk towards the tavern.
Roll me a d6 as you put the coin down.
2.
You notice these tattoos that you didn't notice before, kind of on his forearm. And it appears to be a form of some type of animal, but you don't get enough glance of it at first. You just see he's got a large tattoo on his forearm. It appears to be either some type of animal head or the upper portion of an animal that it is. And as you notice and look at that, he jerks his arm back down and says, "See you in the morning."
I nod and turn around, and noting that in my head, I just go back. I don't make any mention of it to him.
As you head back towards the tavern, you notice another building that's across from there. It's darkened, but it's got this large open front porch. And you notice just a glance of it. The front of it has a sign that says Magyar, Magyer, Magyar's Apothecary and Goods. You see a figure sitting out on some type of chair that's sitting out there, cloaked, of course, in the darkness. And it just looks like they're just swinging back and forth in some type of rocking chair as you're making your way back to the tavern.
Oh, okay. That I will walk over there.
As you approach and get closer where you can get enough natural light to see what comes into play, you see an older woman there dressed in these very fine dress and clothing, and she's got a shawl and stuff pulled up around her, and she goes, "Mighty chilly tonight. The storms."
The storms do bring a chill to the air, but they also add freshness. I know you're probably not open right now, but do you stock any belladonna?
"Oh, what would you need that for?" She chuckles.
Well, I heard word on the road that this area might be infested with were creatures, and I kind of laugh like I'm not believing it myself.
She laughs with you. She says, "Well, you're leaving first thing in the morning, right?"
Yes, we will leave in the morning.
Yes. Come by here first thing in the morning. Don't dilly-dally too long, though."
Okay, thank you so much.
She says, I am the owner. I am Magyar. Been here for many years in this little village.
I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. I am Shah. And I bid her farewell, and I go to the tavern.
She keeps rocking in her chair and says nothing else as you make your way over back into where the rest of the party is. We'll just assume they've all gathered at a table now as you come in and see they're eating a plate of these boiled eggs and probably these ham slices that are left over from a day or two ago.
When it comes to this drink, I would like to kind of swirl it around in my glass. Like, I'm not trying to make it too obvious that I'm trying to do this, but I kind of swirl it around in my glass a bit, and I'm actually just going to take a light sip at first. And what I want to do is I want to test if it tastes like some kind of potion rather than an actual ale.
Yeah, roll me D6 then.
Okay. I'll roll the 5.
It's bitter. I mean, it's just a bitter taste. As you take. I mean, like he said, it's bitter, but that's pretty much all you can tell.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm still keeping any suspicions I have to myself. I'll just watch my mates drink it, and I'll just sort of pretend to drink it, but I'm not really drinking anything. I'm also not even really eating.
All right. What about the other three? As Hanson finally makes his way back after storing the horses in the carriage.
Klaus thanks James for the purchase of the food and the drink, and hungrily scarfs it all down. And is pretty intent on just filling his stomach at this point.
It's like the old days. I Klaus?
Exactly.
Yes, I remember when we were younger men. We were after vampires, and werewolves were around back then.
Yes. Now we have to deal with all of these other things. I heard tell of something like these werepigs that had infested a town.
Werepigs?
Yes.
Well, too bad you can't eat them for bacon after you kill them.
Yeah, well, we might be eating it now. Who knows?
Who knows? And he takes a sip of his ale and turns to Edward and says, "Well, drink up, laddie." Sir Edward, you don't look like you're very pleased to have this drink in your hand.
No, I'm fine. Thank you for your concern. So,
Well,
you honestly believe that you have killed every werewolf out there? But you must know that it is Fae who give men these dark powers. So even if you had done such a thing, a Fae would just create another.
And then I'll kill it.
So
Until then, I haven't found one.
well, and it seems like you've been doing quite a good job as well, Sir Edward. Because if there are no werewolves around, then that means that you've probably killed most of these Fae as well.
One would only be able to hope that that were the case.
When was the last time that your path crossed the Fae?
I cannot remember off the top of my head, but I tend to know the signs of them being around. Crafty creatures they are.
It has been already 2 years since I came across a vampire. It's been a long time for a vampire slayer like myself. I don't know about Klaus. It's been about 5 years for you?
It's been some time. Yes. I mean, there was a village some time back. I got some sense, but I chalked it up just to, my brain isn't what it used to be. My senses might be a little bit dulled as I age. I'm okay with that.
And what do you make of the werebeast that we just encountered? I'm going to order a salad. My
When
character's
you try to order a salad, this large man that you all see behind the barkeep, he says, "Boiled eggs and ham. That's all we have."
Thank you. I will refrain then. I do not eat meat.
Welcome to our part of the world, Shaw.
Yeah. So, well, drink up, mate. I mean, you might not eat, but go ahead and drink up some.
The drink I will have. And I sit down and drink.
Yeah, and as soon as you start drinking, it's the most bitter ale you ever had. It's so stout and strong, but it's good for what it is.
Well, I wince and I say, well, this is a good enough meal for me. And then I drink it.
At least it's going to keep us warm over the next few hours.
Indeed. Did you secure lodging? The horses are fine.
I have not yet.
I barely sleep anymore as it is.
Are we sure that...
What is it, Edward?
Are we sure that such a quaint little place as the village itself would even accommodate a lodging?
Well, there is the coach. You could sleep there if you wish.
This
It might be private enough for you.
Might be safer than sleeping within these walls.
Yes, well, I agree.
The law of hospitality requires them to put us up for the night.
Well, allow me to go over there and secure the lodging for the evening. James Bind walks up to the barkeep and says, "We'd like to secure a room." He turns back to Edward. "Would you like to have your own room, Sir Edward?"
I shall pay for it on my own.
Very well, then. Klaus, I got this one for you as well as Shaw.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
I am just overjoyed to have you guys along for a vampire hunt. And he pays for the lodging for himself and his two other companions.
The gentleman, as you lay the coins down, he looks at you and he goes, "We don't get visitors here. We have no lodging. The only place you could stay is if you go down to the smithy. I'm sure Bender's still down there working. He can probably let you stay in the stable there. He's got fresh hay and stuff. You could probably stay up in the loft for the night.
Stable. Oh, I doubt Sir Edward over there would be very happy to hear what you're saying.
I don't really give a damn what he cares for. Like I say, we don't get visitors here.
Well, laddie, perhaps you could tell me something about this village. On the way here, we came across a strange incident. A creature, a bat-like creature attacked us on our way here. I was wondering if you know anything strange has been taking place on this town.
He looks at you and lets out a chuckle, and he reaches up under the bar as he's trying to get something out from underneath, and he pulls out this book, and he holds it up to you, and it says Grimm's Fairy Tales. And he goes, fairy tale, huh? You still believe I'm an old man?
Yes, I do. Well, we shall be on our way then. Thank you for the meal. And he joins his fellas.
Everybody at the table is well, first of all, everyone that drank the ale, make a saving throw first. We'll go for there first.
Okay.
If you fail, you'll have a -1 to every kind of roll you make for the next 8 to 12 hours, as you feel really aloof and you feel happy, but you feel like some intoxicating effects are taking place if you do fail.
Okay.
Does Edward have to make a roll because he sipped?
No, if you just took a small sip, but if you actually drank a whole glass of it.
I failed. With this results of not getting a room and also being a little bit drunk, Shaw is gonna approach the barkeep.
Yeah, he's still standing there behind the deal, and you've noticed that all he does is kind of watch from table to table to table, looking around, not doing much else.
And I say, "Good sir, I do not want to insult you, but it seems that you are in violation of the law of hospitality, and you realize that lack of hospitality to travelers is incredibly bad luck. We will sleep anywhere you can make available to us. We do not need fine lodgings, but you cannot put us out into the rain."
Well, it appears that you speak the same language as I do, and the same language as the old man who just come up here. So maybe you didn't understand it from him explaining to you. Let me explain it to you. We don't get visitors here. We had no lodging. You can go talk to Bender down at the smithy. He'll probably let you stay in the loft up there at one of the barns tonight. I'm sure he'll probably let you stay there for nothing. Tell him I sent you.
Ah, I see. That sounds very reasonable. And I go back to the table and I say, "I've secured us lodging at the smithy."
Well done, Shaw. For some reason, I feel very happy tonight. Oh, and he looks at his ale. He failed.
Yeah, if you failed on your save on the ale, I mean, you're just feeling the intoxicating effects you think from it, but you just feel happy and joyful as you notice some of the other townsfolk, are laughing and carrying on too. And we mentioned the townsfolk in there. None of them have talked to you, and none of them have approached you. Some of them are starting to get up and leave. Everybody roll me a D6. If anybody gets a 1 or 2, let me know.
I got a 2.
Anybody got a 1 or a 2, you notice one thing in common with the folks who are leaving. In fact, it kind of disperses down to about half of the group is leaving. Everyone's dressed in black. Everybody is wearing black shirts, black pants, black hat, black dresses for the women. Everybody's just like they're all wearing the same common type of clothing.
Yeah, Edward is paying particularly close attention to everything. Has he noticed the effects of his companions feeling more happy?
Oh yeah, you'd probably notice the way they're talking and carrying on their conversation is just naturally they're being more loose with it.
I'm sorry. What's the werewolf hunter's name?
Klaus.
Klaus, yeah. Klaus, did you fail your save?
Yeah.
Okay, so all of them are completely useless to me now. All right. Edward's gonna just like slowly take out his hand crossbow, and he's just like holding it under the table. And he says to his companions, "Let's not rush to the stable. It's not like we have to be up too early. We can stay here for a bit longer." And I'm going to continue to just kind of look around the place. Does there anyone seem like they're watching us, or does anyone, like, you know what I'm saying? And mostly the bartender I want to look at. Does it look like they're watching us particularly more than anyone else? Even if it was just glances,
Yeah, as far as we'll start with the general crowd that is left, you notice maybe there's 10, 12 people left in here. You'll get a glance every once in a while, but it's not like they're watching you. It's just natural conversation. It seems like they're more attuned to their own conversations, their own laughter and things. But every once in a while, one of them will glance at you, but then it'll just glance off. As far as the bartender himself, you notice he'll glance from table to table, but now it's kind of dispersed the crowd. And once in a while you do catch him watching your table.
Okay, sorry. I heard you say every once in a while he glances over at us. That was it?
Yeah, the bartender. Yeah, he's watching. But I mean, the crowd's dispersed. So, I mean, there's not many tables left. But yeah, you do catch him watching you.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Whatever he's gonna do then, he's gonna put a small smile on his face, and he's just going to attempt to play along. He's gonna play as if he's been drinking his drink, as if he has, as if he's just as intoxicated as his companions, and he's gonna say, "Klaus, why don't you tell me one of those exciting stories of one of the animals that you have encountered and killed?"
What do you think the chances are of you killing?
Stories. This isn't about vanity, there, Edward. So this has never been about vanity.
And it's not vanity to share with compatriots tales of glorious victory against the forces of evil that pursue us each day.
Yeah, well, okay. There was this one werewolf that I encountered, and I killed it.
And Edward is actually just looking around the room still. He's actually not paying any attention to whatever Klaus just said. And he just says, "Fascinating."
As Klaus finishes his story, you see Sir James Bine burst into laughter and says, "I do love that story."
Yes. Klaus laughs a little bit more. And then there's that other town that I found this werewolf, and I killed it.
You slay me, Klaus. You're the best storyteller that I've seen in a long time.
I said, yes.
Hey, you remember that time that we found that werebat and we killed it? And he says this rather loud and like slams the table as he does so, trying to attract a little attention, actually.
No, it was me who killed it. Yes.
You sure did. It was all you. You killed that creature.
Yes, in the end, it was me. You know why it was my sword that slew that creature in the end?
It must be because you are the most skilled of all of us.
No, Sir Edward, because it looked like a vampire. That's why. He's laughing.
Yes, that's right. You do kill vampires for a living. I forgot about that. I'm going to look at the bartender and see if there's any reaction out of that.
He's starting to approach your table, And as he does, he looks like some of you need refills. But then he looks at you, Sir Edwin. He goes, "Don't like to drink. I told you wouldn't."
Fuck. Yeah. I say, no, it was quite enjoyable. I ordered two. Do you not remember?
My memory is still intact. You've only had one. But that's fine. You don't have to drink it, but you still have to pay for it.
Well, my friend paid for it earlier. Your memory is so intact. Surely you remember that.
Though I'm inebriated, I do remember paying you. So I believe my friend does not owe you any money.
Tell me, friend, how long have you been around these parts?
All my life.
How long?
Well, do you want to know my age? Is that what you're asking, pretty boy?
I'm simply curious as for the number of years that you've lived here.
Oh, I just had a birthday, so 42.
What year was it you were born again?
42 years ago, you know. You don't have a calendar?
Which was?
42 years ago. You want to have a drink or not?
No, thank you.
Happy birthday.
First.
You see the conversation that going on, you see a few more of the townsfolk get up and leave, and they're dressed the same, of course, as everybody else has been. The bartender himself is wearing like these dark grayish instead of black. They're like a dark gray pants and a dark gray shirt is what he's wearing. It's almost black, but it's not as quite as black as the clothing on the others. But he turns around and walks back to the bar, and you see him say something to a couple of the people walking out as they leave and continue on their way out. But what you do notice is some of the people leave out. Of course, those that are intoxicated themselves on the ale, they think. You see this beautiful, beautiful woman walk in, and you hear Hanson go, "Oh, my Lord, you were right, Sir Edward. Look." You turn and see this beautiful, black-haired female walk in, appears to be in her early 20s, wearing a black dress with this white shawl pulled up around her. As she walks up, she looks at you, but real quick, and she walks up to the bar, starts talking to the bartender in low voices.
Edward's quickly going to grab his glass as they're talking to each other, and he's going to just like pour it out underneath the table, and then he's going to put the cup back up on the table.
All right.
My God, man, don't pour that on my foot.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Shaw. Please tell us one of your stories. Edward says, but he's actually more so kind of like eyeing the people up at the bar.
Your false conversation bores me.
Well,
I'm gonna go to the smithy.
Well, Shaw, when you do come back, do tell us about your travels. I'd like to find out how what brings you so far away from your homeland.
The first thing you notice, Shaw, as you walk out the door to go back on the street, you notice it's quit raining now. And I mean, it's just a dark night. There's no rain. You can hear storms rumbling quite, miles and miles away that you come through, but it's quit raining. You notice some of the townsfolk are still walking off. And as you stand there for just a moment, the beautiful young lady that came up to the bar, you see her stay about a minute or two talking to the bartender. She turns around and walks off. And you see Hanson look at her and he goes, "Oh my gosh, I've got to have her."
Oh boy.
He says that to the ones remaining at the table. Of course, Shaw, you're already out on the street, and you see the pretty, beautiful young woman come walking down the steps, and she says, "A visitor in town, are you?"
Ah, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, my lady. I am Shaw. We are passing through and needed to rest from the storm, though it looks like it's passed.
Oh, well, they call me Lady Wanda.
Wanda.
Yes, I hope you're able to start on your journey in the morning. I'm sure if you have a good breakfast here, and that'll be just enough for you to start out, won't it?
Well, I don't want to offend the locals, but do you know where I could get some non-meat, like some roots or something, or a potato?
She reaches out with her arm and goes to touch you on your shoulder. Do you allow her to do so?
Sure.
Make me a saving throw.
That's a 15. So 14 because I have a -1, so 14. That should be a pass unless it's something.
Yeah, you feel just the energy of this beautiful young woman touch you for just a moment, and she says, she points over to the shop, the Magyar's goods and apothecary that you spoke to the old woman on the porch, and she whispers real low and she goes, "Stay away from there. She's a witch."
Oh, a witch. Well, that does work really well with the apothecary shop.
At that same time, as you're having that conversation and saying that, and you look over at the shop, the apothecary, you hear on the front porch the swinging getting louder and louder, and you hear something drop as something maybe fell off a table or something has been dropped.
Tony, while they're having this conversation, I want to reach into my backpack, and I have 2 vials of holy water with me. I'm going to take one of those vials out, and I'm just attempting to hide it in my hand for now.
Yeah, you can do that. You're still in the tavern. Nobody's really watching you now. You're able to do that.
My lady, I believe I heard a sound from the witch's shop. Perhaps we should check it out, make sure nothing's gone wrong. We wouldn't want the town to be infested by fairies or something. And I laugh.
I've got to make haste to the house. It's been an awful night. Maybe I'll see you in the morning here for breakfast. I hope.
Can I hear this conversation going on?
You're still in the tavern. They're outside.
Okay.
Yeah. I bid her farewell, and I'm going to check out the Magyars.
We jump over as you go to the front of Magyar's. Now, we'll stop there and go back to inside for just a moment as you three have seen your companion, Shaw, leave out front, and you see the beautiful young woman that went out about a minute after him.
Yeah, at that point, Klaus is going to excuse himself and say, I think it's been an evening.
Yeah.
Seems to be quiet around here.
Yeah, if Edward sees this young woman leave, he'll instantly get up and follow her out. He won't even say anything to the other 2. And I'm going to hide that holy water in my hand, like I said.
Yep, you can do that, no problem.
Does James recognize anything strange about that woman? Any chance that she's a vampire or?
Roll me a d6. 3 out of 6. You got a 3 or 6 chance.
I rolled 2.
You feel uneasy about her, but that's it as far as knowing exactly what it is about her. You just get an uneasy feeling about her. She put out some type of aura that just didn't settle well with you at all.
Well, if I was a young man, then I'll be greatly attracted to her. But the age has withered me down quite a bit. But I do sense something quite strange about her. Klaus, do you recognize anything? Anything strange about that woman?
No, not at all. She's a young dame. I mean,
something. Bless you. Something about her is slightly off. I think I'm going to go after Shaw. And he gets up from the chair.
Hanson looks over at you as you finish that, Sir James, and he goes, "Look, old man, we're good friends, I know, so I'm saying this jokingly, but don't worry about it. I'll take care of her."
Hanson, Are you feeling quite all right? He looks at Hansen to see if he's been charmed.
You notice Hanson had a drink also of the ale, and he's feeling very jovial and cheerful himself. As all of you go out into the street, you make your way out there, Sir Edward, and you see Shaw starting to approach another building on in front of you, 30 feet down. And you see some of the townsfolk lingering off. You don't see the beautiful young woman. She's dispersed also, but you all see your companion Shaw going up to one of the buildings that is very dark from where you're at.
I'm gonna do my best to sort of like are there any woods around or anything like that?
No, the forest. When you come out of the forest, it all turned into pretty much like farmland and grazing land. Everything's flat around here.
Oh, perfect. They've thought of everything. All right. All right, then I'm just gonna kind of start following these town people a little bit. I'll be a little bit behind. I realize I can't hide, so I'm not necessarily gonna try.
Yeah, and you notice that most of them are going to outside of town, and most of them appear to be going probably to their houses or whatever. They've kind of dispersed off in different trails and things, going to some of the farms that are outside of town.
James yells after Shaw, "Shaw, wait for me!" And then he approaches Shaw.
As you start approaching Shaw, you walk up there and you see the old lady that was in the chair that you spoke to. She's reaching down and picking up what appears to maybe like a glass bowl or something that she maybe dropped or fell off the table and is broken. She goes, "Oh, my old fumbling hands, I don't hold stuff as well. I'm sorry that I startled you."
Oh, yes, I was checking to be sure you're okay. There's, as I said, rumors of creatures of the night. And I do air quotes.
She sees Sir James approaching also, and she reaches out and she grabs your arm real quick, Shaw. She says, "You're going to need this." And she takes it away. There's like a small sachet bag, real small, and you smell the herbs and stuff coming out of it. She puts that into your hand.
I palm it and I say, "Thank you, my lady." And I bow a little bit and I walk back towards James.
So James, you see Shaw turn around, pretty quickly after he approaches there, and he's coming back down off the porch there. You can now see the silhouette of the older lady sitting in a rocking chair. She doesn't say anything to you, of course. You're 10, 15 feet away from him now.
James doesn't pay too much attention to the lady, but he looks at Shaw and says, "Oh, Shaw, where has that strange young woman gone to? The very pretty one."
Oh, she said that she needed to get home for the evening, but would be back in the morning for breakfast.
Shaw, did you feel anything strange when you're near her?
Shaw looks a little bit awkward now. You realize I'm an adult, right? I don't need to have this conversation.
Of course not. It is not what I was talking about. I just felt as if there was something very off about that woman.
Well, she was the most pleasant person besides the lady on the porch in the entire town, but perhaps the females here are just nicer than the males.
Well, that's true. Have you found out anything about a strange creature that we came upon?
Which one?
Well, the one that we slew on the way in here. The giant lycanthrope bat.
No, I have not. I believe that it was a werebat. Thus I gave the silver coin to...
Yes. But of course, I knew that. I did.
I mean, clearly I would be a vampire by now, because as I was bit.
Yes, of course. I knew that.
So I'm going to take the sash that I have the herbs, and I kind of just lift it up so it's close. I don't make it super obvious. I say, smell this perfume.
He sniffs it.
So would he recognize it as a vampire hunter being something that's vampire-y?
You would recognize it's probably all type of different herbs and stuff mixed up.
Okay.
And mechanically, since you two, of course, the others don't know this yet, but mechanically, it's giving you a +1, so you're back to that -1 is gone now.
Okay.
Yes. Cool.
Good. All right, good. So it's just like it's a mixture of things. Okay.
Yeah, it's a mixture of all stuff, and you can you know it's definitely something good.
Okay. Good. So probably something we want to keep honest, like a not something we'd throw at somebody, basically. That's what I was trying to figure out.
Right.
Okay.
Klaus, as you're coming down and meeting them, maybe coming out last, you hear or see, and also you turn back towards the place you just come out of, the Angels of Rain or the Angels of Pain, but you see the lights go off in there, and you hear the front door lock as it appears they're closed now.
We said, well, I guess we left just in time. It appears the tavern keeper is locked up for the evening.
Oh, yes, that's the timing.
That he was. Did you notice? Anyone else notice that he was dressed differently than everyone else? Right? Perhaps we should follow him. We're going to follow strange people. I mean,
Dressed differently? I thought they all dressed like farmers.
No, he was the gray. Remember, he was in the gray. Or was it just my eyes? It could be my eyes. You know.
Perhaps his clothes are just older than the rest.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize anything strange about him, but I did feel very uneasy about that one young lady that came in towards the end.
Said, I think we're all edgy from today. I'm just going to go hit the hay.
Yes. The blacksmith's shop, was it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, what was his name?
The blacksmith. A kind sir named Bender.
Yes, Bender. Bender was that name. Yes, I think I shall go there and find a horse to sleep on.
A horse to sleep on? Well, let's go.
Just don't sleep under the horse.
No, I'm not going to. I'm just, since I'm feeling a little bit nostalgic, I'm just thinking about the times when I was riding back in the army. We slept on the horses quite a bit. We'd take turns sleeping. And I thought, well, since I've got no better place to sleep, maybe I'll just sleep in a horse. At least it's going to be warm.
And the horses slept on top of you when you were awake, yes?
Yes. that is true.
Yes.
I think.
As you three begin to make your way to the smithy, there's two things you notice. You notice, number one, that Sir Edward is dispersed from you three, and he's not with you currently while all this is going on. Sir James, maybe you were trying to keep an eye on him, but Hanson is going away from the party now.
Klaus, have you seen Hanson? Or Sir Edward, for that matter?
Edward left before me, and Hanson, I don't recall. I mean, he might have been in the tavern yet when we were still there. I don't recall. He said something about the woman. Well, you were there. He said something about the woman that he was going to take care of her.
Yes, but I came out before him to look for the woman, but she was gone. Shaw told me that she headed in one direction, but I don't know. I believe perhaps we should try to locate her. I have a feeling that we may find Hanson near her.
Strange men following strange women in strange towns. This sounds a bit suspicious to me.
Sounds like what we always do, Klaus.
Yes. But yes, I don't. More directly to your question, no, I don't know where Hanson went.
Well, if the boy has found comfort in the arms of a woman, I think we should leave him be.
True enough.
Or perhaps he's with with Sir Edward, and that is also fine.
True enough.
Yes, but I also worry about Sir Edward. He's alone. And somehow, I believe, by machinations not of our own, we have been separated.
Well, if that be the case, perhaps we should maybe do a minor investigation. Did I see which direction she went, Tony?
No, she is. At first, you did, but it seems like she just dispersed, and you lost knowledge of where she went.
Yeah, I wasn't really watching her. So, I'm not 100% sure where she went, and it is a small town, though. Perhaps the blacksmith has seen her.
Well, it sounds like we're going in the same direction then.
Indeed. Let's head towards the blacksmith.
Sir Edward, are you going to come back into town now? As you will meet up with your party again?
So am I like fairly confident that all these people seem to be like going off to their homes and not just like
you're
wandering
99.9% sure that everybody went to their farms or their little houses for the night.
All right. Yeah, I'm just checking real quick, just kind of like patting myself down, making sure I still have all my weapons on me and everything. And yeah, I'll slowly start to make my way back over towards the blacksmith. I'm also gonna put a big smile on my face, and I'm gonna try and act as if I'm under the influence of whatever they were giving us to drink earlier. I'm gonna try and act a bit out of my mind.
You three see Sir Edward stumbling down the street back towards you three, and as you all meet up at the blacksmith shop, the large man known as Bender is in the smithy. He stopped his hammering now, as it appears he's gathering up and moving stuff, and appears probably he's fixing to finally close up shop too, as you four converge on that spot.
Well, when I see him, I'm going to call out and I'm going to say, my good man, I hate to bother you again on such a evening, but it seems there is no inn in town, and we were told perhaps we could forward with the horses some hay, and a roof over our heads would be much appreciated.
Steiner sent you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you may stay in these stables. Fresh hay in the loft. Most comfy place. We have no inn here. No visitors.
Yeah. That's understandable. It's you're off the beaten path here. I appreciate it. And I'm gonna head towards the hay.
Yeah, he would show you and take you into to a very nice, appears to be a very nice barn and stable area, and shows you the loft up there. And sure enough, you can see it appears to be fresh hay is laid down. And he says, there may be blankets up there. Use them. Cold night.
Thank you.
Say, Bender, perhaps I can see something that you sell. Do you sell swords and such?
Tired. Come back in morning.
Of course. Thank you.
Would all four of you make yourselves available and go into the resting inn for the night at the stable?
Before I do, I'm going to say, well, I'm afraid I must first drain the pipes. And I'm going to walk outside this barn. I want to look up around the top of the stable and see, like, are there windows or anything up there?
There is one on one end. There is one up at this loft where you're at. You see one window deal, but it's closed up, of course, with wood doors.
Okay. All right.
James goes after Sir Edwards. Sir Edward,
Yes.
do you have a moment?
Go on.
I'm most worried about Hanson. Back at the bar, did you see that strange woman? The young, very, very attractive woman that came in?
Yes, I may have caught a glance of her.
Did you have any strange, uneasy feeling about her? As if there was something slightly off?
Can I open my shirt?
Slightly off, you say? In what way?
I don't know. It is a premonition of some sort. It's a feeling that I get when something is suspicious. I just do not think she belongs in this place. And the way that Hanson was acting towards her, I feel as though he has been charmed by her.
That would be worrying.
And given that he's not here with us, I was wondering if you could help me find Hanson.
Tell you what, old man, you seem to have had a few too many to drink. Why don't you go ahead and head to bed, and we'll find Hanson in the morning. I'll tap his shoulder, reassuringly.
Oh, nonsense. I feel just fine. Unlike you, I'm quite used to drinking this pissy ale.
No. No, please. Go to bed.
Are you up to something, Sir Edwards?
Just trying to use the restroom.
I suppose I could give you your privacy then. And he wanders off.
Okay.
Sir Edward, I mean, you're going to go outside to use the outside of the stable, or are you going to find a spot in the stable itself?
All right. I'm going to go around back of the stable. And from around back, where is the tavern at in conjunction to where I'm at now?
It's back closer to where you come in from. We actually come into this village. It's probably roughly, we'll say 60 feet, about 50 or 60, I mean.
Is there any way I could kind of stay behind buildings and bushes and get back over towards the back of the tavern?
You can try. Roll me a d6.
All right. I'll need my die. 1.
Excuse me. You're able to find a way that you may. It's going to take you some time, but you're able to come back to the back side of the tavern's building.
All right. I mean, it doesn't really matter how long it takes. I'm gonna sneak over there. I don't know if
the other three that are in the stable. You notice now that you have 2 missing party members. Sir Edward's been gone for some length of time. Sir James, but he went to the restroom, but he's been gone for quite a while now. Hanson is still missing. But we jump back to you, Sir Edward, as you make your way to the tavern.
All right. So around the back of the tavern, are there any windows or anything?
There are not. There's no back door either.
Okay. Is the tavern at ground level, or does it set up? Is there a crawl space I could crawl under?
No, it's pretty much ground level. It doesn't have any kind of basement, it appears, or any type of a crawl space underneath it.
All right. And then I will slowly make my way around the side. Again, I'm looking for windows or anything like that.
Yeah, on the sides of the building, there are actually a couple of windows, that appear to go into the main commons room of where y'all were at.
Is it dark inside, or is there still lamp light?
Yeah, it's very dark. I mean, it appears that it's like the other buildings now. It's completely dark, as it's been closed for the evening.
Can I find any barrel or anything to get on top of and look through the window? Or if I were to, stand up, could I, look.
You find a wooden crate out there, sure enough, that you can move up there to give you a little bit of leverage.
All right. Yeah, I don't want to put my whole head up. If I can, I'm just going to barely lift my eyes over the edge, and I'm going to see if I can look inside and see anything.
As soon as you do, these two red eyes pierce out at you. No, I'm joking. You don't see anything. It's dark. It's very dark in there.
Okay. How dark is it in the town itself right now?
It's overall, excuse me, it's a pretty dark night outside. I mean, there's minor illumination coming from the night sky and a partial moon, but it's pretty dark. I mean, you can walk and move without any kind of source of light, but it's just slow movement.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna continue to kind of sneak around. I'm gonna start sneaking back towards the loft area. Do I need to roll again?
No, you're going back to the where you're supposed to stay for the night. No, you can make it back over there.
All right. Yeah, I'll make it back over there. And when I do, you said it was the upper stairs that we were gonna sleep in.
Yeah, when you actually go into the stable area and the barn area, when you walk in, the animals, of course, are down bottom, but there's a ladder leading up to a loft that he showed you where there was fresh hay and all that for y'all to stay.
All right. Yeah, I'm not going to go up there. I'm going to instead make my way over to where he was working earlier.
You can actually not get to that part. It's in a different building. I mean, it's not. You would have to exit out of this main deal and go back to a smaller building of where his smithy is.
I mean, yeah, if I have to do that. I mean, like, unless it's inside a place I can't get to.
No, I mean, partially of it is open. I mean, partially of it's an open area. Like when you first come in town and saw him working. I mean, it's just a big shed with an open top.
Okay, yeah, I want to go in there. I want to look around there and see what's there.
You make your way over there. Did you make contact with the other three when you first come back, though, to let them know you're back? Or
nope, I haven't.
All right. Your companion's been gone for some time. James, Shaw, Klaus, would there be anything y'all would want to do at this point?
James is still worried about Hansen and thinking that Hansen may have taken that woman to the carriage. He tries to go back to the place where Hansen has supposedly taken the carriage earlier.
Yeah, I'm also gonna with our nightly friend gone for so long. I'm getting a little worried too. So I'm gonna go down to the carriage as well.
What about Klaus? Beauty sleep, or you going?
I'll go with the rest of them. I'm not. I might be sleepy, but I'm not a fool.
As you three go out and make your way to where you saw the carriage parked on the side of the smithy itself, you hear some rumbling and noise coming from inside of the smithy as you look up and see Sir Edward in there rumbling around.
Do you think he's possessed? Should we take him out?
Yes, perhaps his fae has finally gotten to him.
I wonder what he's doing in there.
He could be possessed.
Sir Edward! He shouts out at him.
The stealthy approach. I like it.
Sir Edward! It's me, James. What are you doing in there?
Yeah, Edward just starts rubbing his eyes. He sighs a little bit, thinking about how incompetent the people he travels with are. Oh, my bad. I must have gotten lost. I was looking for the outhouse.
You've been looking for the outhouse for about 2 hours or something.
Yeah, it's a really big town.
Of course. If I was in your position, I would have sorted myself already.
Yes, for being a noble birth, I expected you to be better at deceit.
It's right around the corner over there. And if you can't find it, and if you find the smell very intolerable, just use the area behind the building.
All right. Well, thanks for your help. You can go back to bed now.
We were actually headed back to check on Hansen. He still hasn't come back yet.
I see.
Edward, as you have a few moments before they arrive to take a quick overall view and glance around the smithy, everything appears to be in place. I mean, you see nothing that catches anything out of place or anything that would give you any kind of, shivers or anything. Everything appears to be just a regular smithy in there.
All right. So are you guys heading back to the bar to look for him then?
We were headed back to where we parked our carriage. If we find him in there with that young woman and the carriage is shaken, then we shall leave them alone. But if we find anything strange, then I suppose it warrants our investigation.
All right. Lead the way. As we've already determined, I'm terrible at directions.
James heads over to the carriage.
Sir James, as you four make your way to the carriage, it's sitting very still, solid on the ground, and you go in, you look inside the carriage, around the carriage. It appears that there's no sign of Hansen, and he hasn't been here since he secured it. When you first come into town, everything's quiet, peaceful at the carriage.
Well, what do you think, Shaw?
Well, we know that the woman left the inn, but Hansen did not, right? Did anybody see Hansen leave the inn or the bar?
Klaus was behind. Klaus, did you see Hansen leave?
I thought we went over this before. I didn't see him leave.
But when you left the bar, was he still behind? Was he in the bar?
I don't recall.
Roll me a d6, Klaus.
2.
You would know that when you exited out, you caught a quick glance of Hansen coming up from the table and following about 10 feet behind you, but you don't recall for sure if he did come out completely out or whatever, but he was coming that direction to exit out after you.
Yeah, I thought he was coming with me. Where he went after I got up and left, I don't know.
Well, there's a chance he did not leave the bar at all. Perhaps too much drink left him on the ground.
That's true.
Shall we investigate? And I'm going to turn and start walking towards the bar.
He shrugs and follows him.
Yep. I remember there was a time when I would have to track down my son
Would you
sometimes.
Would you like a lantern to illuminate your path?
No, I can see just fine. Thank you, though.
Very well.
Lighting a light affects your night vision. This is why we beat your kind in the wars.
Oh, is that how you remember it? I remember it as our kind allowing you to go because sometimes you just have to let a child make a mistake on their make a mistake of their own.
You're not. I see you are here.
I am here on behalf of business.
I thought the Twilight Wars would have established a peace accord here where we're all men, right? I don't think there needs to be this animosity of who did what in prior histories.
I was trying to teach the young squire some tactics.
Well, I do appreciate your gestures. Please lead the way, though.
But I must say, Sir Edward is no squire. He is a full knight.
Oh. I do like a mock bow.
He is a
Spoken by
knight
another
as
noble.
he is a knight as I am. Isn't that right, Sir Edward?
That is the title that they gave me.
Well, what is the
The
plan? Once we get
title
to
that Her Majesty, the Queen herself, gave me. I shall mind you.
yes, that is very good. Let us move along.
I'm just going right to the tavern. Yeah.
As you make your way back there, Shaw, leading the group back to the front of the tavern, one thing you notice that the apothecary of it, the old lady appears to have retired for the night too. She's no longer in her swing or rocking chair. She's retired. But you make your way to the front of the tavern. The doors are secured and appear to be heavily locked or secured. I mean, it's dark, closed. There's no movement or noise coming in. There's no way in.
Is it not odd to you that in such a small town there would be so much security? Are there windows?
Yeah, on the side of the building, there are some windows that Edward would know where those are.
Okay. Well, yeah. Either if Edward points them out, or I'll just walk around the side of the building and see if there's any windows.
Oh, yes. I do seem to recall that there were windows on the side of the building. I saw them when we were coming in.
Excellent reconnaissance. Did you notice if they were shuttered?
I believe they were just open. I mean, down locked, but not shuttered.
I'll walk around to the side to see if the windows are indeed open.
The windows are closed and secured. There are no shutters, but the same thing, if you peer, if you get up close and try to peer in, you can make out the common room and stuff that everyone was in, but it's very dark in there.
Yeah, when I said open, I just meant like not shuttered.
Do I see Hanson there?
Nope, you don't see anything moving or any kind of movement or anything at all. It's still silent, quiet.
Well, it appears Hanson must have left, or because he's not in the common room.
Well, I mean, we could get in.
This is true, but young men, often do these things.
Yes, let him sow his wild oats while he's got a chance.
Yes.
The door is locked, Tony.
Oh yeah, the doors are locked, and there's no easy way to just walk in.
I brought a set of thieves' tools with me. Could I attempt to use them?
You can.
All right, I want to attempt to use the thieves' tools to unlock this door.
All right, roll me a d6.
Try knocking, perhaps.
It rolled under my leg. Hold on. All right, I rolled a 2.
You put your whichever little pick there that you pick out and think's the right one for this lock, and you pick it in. You hear like a tumbler or something at first, and then you keep turning it to think it's going to open, and when you do, you break your lockpick.
Well, I never was that great at actually being able to pick a lock. And with that, I'm going to stand up, and I'm just going to, kick the door right at the doorknob, and I'm just going to attempt to kick the door in.
All righty.
I whistle as I walk away.
I was shocked. Yes.
I'm like,
all right, Shaw's walking away. Klaus is walking away. What about Sir James?
Sir James probably thinking about his grandchildren.
I think he probably just gave him a heart attack doing that, probably.
super stealthy all of a sudden. I'm just going to keep the door open. Oh, okay.
Are you with us, Young? I tell you what, let's take a bio break. I need to drain some water anyway, so we'll take a quick break and come back and see what happens when the door is kicked in.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm back.
I'm back as well.
I'm back as well.
All right. Hey, Klaus, did you? I'm sorry, Sir James. Did you hear what happened at the end when we took our break? Though.
I did not actually. I had a phone call to answer.
What's the last you know of what happened?
We were approaching the inn, and not the inn, the bar, and we were looking around there, and that's as far as I got.
All right, yeah, I'll catch you up real quick. Shaw looked in the windows, didn't see the body or any movement of Hanson or anybody else. I went around to the front door. Sir Edward had some lock picking tools and put them in, and heard a tumbler turn and kept turning and thought he had it, but he broke his lockpick off in there. And now he has decided he is going to try to kick the front door in, and your other two party members are turning off and walking away from this.
Yeah, Sir James would also be walking away from it, but this time he turns on the lantern and he tries to look for the footprint of Hanson if he can.
Yep, we'll get to that and make sure everybody's back. Daniel's back. What about Klaus? Yep, Mike's back.
Okay, do you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay.
You three are walking off whistling and lighting a lantern. As you look around real quick, Sir James, we'll go with you and your party. You know, you don't see any kind of foot traffic. I mean, there's so much foot traffic in the rain and the mud. It's all muddled up together. You don't see anything that would appear to be Hanson himself. Sir Edward, you're going to kick the front door in, huh, or try to?
That's what I'm attempting.
All right, roll me 4d6 against your strength. Let me know if you get equal to or under.
Okay. I only have 1d6 here, so I'm just going to have to roll them one at a time.
Yeah, that's fine.
2. 5, so that's 7. Another 5, that's 17, and I'm more than sure that's over my strength.
As you kick,
sorry, another 5 would be 12, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, 7 plus 5, 12.
Yeah, it would be 12. And I have a strength of 12, so actually one more roll would put me over.
Yep, it would, even if you had a 1. So, yeah, as soon as you crawl off and get a good kick on this door, you can tell these are heavy doors that are fortified. You'll take 1 point of damage as it does some damage to your foot and your leg. These doors are very secure.
I'll curse under my breath a bit, but then I'll regain my composure. Is there a window on the door or anything?
No, actually, on the front entrance doors, there's cells. They're just heavy, all full, solid, heavy doors.
All right. I'll tell you what. I have a hammer for driving in wooden stakes that I brought along. So I'm actually going to take that hammer and I'm just going to smash the glass on the front door.
There's not a glass. What I said, there's no glass. It's all solid. It's all solid wood.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. No, there's the big stools. They're broken. Okay. Shit. All right, I'm just going to kind of back off for now. I hit the door hard enough that maybe someone heard me. I tell you what I'll do. What I'll do then is I'm just gonna put my back to the door, and I'm gonna wait to see if someone opens the door. And as soon as someone opens that door, if they do, I'm just gonna waylay them in the face.
How long do you want to wait for this?
Just a few minutes.
5 minutes, sir?
Sure. About 5 minutes will work, I guess.
All right. The other three of you make your way back to your resting place for the night. Is that correct?
Sir Bind is still worried about Hanson, and he's got his lantern on, and he's looking for boot prints that belongs to Hanson. I don't know if I could roll for it or what.
Yeah, it wouldn't do any good even if you tried, because there's so many prints in the mud with the fresh rain and the mud. I mean, there's all these town folks and mixture of the carriage horses and the carriage wheels. You wouldn't be able to discern just Hanson's footprint at all, no matter how long you spend.
So
yeah.
So with one of the Knights of the Queen smashing into a door, and the other one lighting a lantern in the middle of the street, I've now decided that this is kind of interesting. So I'm actually going to just go over to the apothecary, and I'm going to sit on her swing and just watch to see what happens.
All right.
Because it's across the street pretty much, right? So I can still see the end from there.
Yeah, it's probably 20, 30 feet from the tavern.
I just sit there and wait, and I want to see if if anything funny happens.
Right. After a little while, Sir James looks up and says, I can't make out any of these prints. And he looks over to Sir Edward. Is he able to see him?
Yeah, if you walk back down there, you could see him sitting. He's just leaning up against the front door of the tavern.
Sir James, what are you doing over there? Are you done vandalizing that man's bar?
Yeah, James will walk off the front porch.
Yeah, you wait your 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is, and you hear nothing inside, no movement, no voices, nothing. It's still and quiet.
James walks up right next to Edward. Are you quite done over here?
Yes, I'm done.
I sense a lot of anger in you, young man. You seem quite frustrated kicking that door.
Well, it's a frustrating place, isn't it?
I suppose you're right. But is there something that you're not telling us? Something that's making you angry?
No.
Perhaps you're bewitched.
Yes, perhaps. Of course, I would be the one to know, wouldn't I?
Yes, that is certainly the case. What about our friend Shaw over there? I saw him receive some sort of a gift from the lady who was sitting right where he's sitting at the moment.
You actually was Sir James? Were you up there when she did that? You would actually
No,
not see
I don't
him.
think he was. No.
No,
I showed it to him.
Well, Sir James was actually walking towards him, and he saw him like talking to that old woman, and he turned around and showed him what the perfume that she gave him.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. It was Sir James that he showed it to and smelled it. Okay, that's good then. Okay.
Gift? What gift did you receive from her?
It was some sort of a fetish. Some bag of herbs, if I'm correct.
I'm going to walk over and I'm going to say, show me this bag of herbs that you were presented with.
In polite society, it's not nice to come on somebody's porch without asking.
Well, I mean, you could just keep the herbs if you want, but then those could be a token from a fae granting you a death wish, and you would never know.
Well, I can't hear you. You're on the porch without asking.
Very well. Keep your secrets. And Edward will just walk off the porch.
All right.
As soon as you do, I go, Edward, come, join me on the porch.
Edward continues to walk away. He's not going to have any of your childish games. It's funny because he actually liked you the most out of everyone at first.
Well, Shaw, that one old woman who gave you that gift, why would she give you that gift? What did she say to you?
I come down off the porch. Since we're standing in the middle of the street and you're all yelling at me and it's the middle of the night. Really, a bunch of drunks walking down the street. So I say, I asked the woman for some belladonna. I told her of the weird creature. And she gave me the satchel I showed you. And I will now show it to anybody else who's there.
Yep, if you show it to them and they observe it or whatever, the other ones, will have a +1. Or if you had the -1, that'd put you back up to even. But if you didn't, you will have a +1 to any roll you make.
Yeah, so I show it to these guys to see if they have any kind of information about it, and I guess they probably have the same info that we have, which is mixed herbs.
Oh, so do you smoke it, or what do you do with it?
I believe the fragrance of it invigorates you.
Oh, okay.
I think I smell rosemary.
And parsley.
And sage?
Sir Edward, do you want to inspect it closer or not?
Yeah, if he'll bring it out and I'm around, then sure, I'll go ahead and give it a good inspection.
Roll me a 6.
James actually holds it up and says, Sir Edward, and then runs after him, showing it to him.
Um, I got a 2.
You would know after you take it and inspect it that whatever you're getting off of it, the invigorating smells and scents, you know that this is something good. That is nothing. If it is from some type of fae or whatever, it's from a good one. It's not from a bad one.
This may be Fae, but it's not dark Fae. And he'll hand it back to you.
Perhaps you should hold on to it. It's your specialty.
Well, if a Fae were to give this to you, it's for a particular reason.
Indeed. Thank you. I take it back.
I'd also argue that if he were to give this to you, that's for a reason. But in any regards, we could wait until tomorrow morning and talk to this woman.
I'm afraid we won't.
Standing around will be tomorrow morning.
Edward at this point rolled himself up just like a cigarette, and he's starting to just like have himself a smoke. He simply says, "Oh no, we'll not make it till tomorrow, most likely."
I want to make the statement that I believe Hanson is the only one of us that's having any fun tonight.
Hanson's probably dead.
Well, then he's getting a far bit more rest and sleep than I am.
Well, let us return and have some rest.
Yeah.
Are these guys like still under the influence of that drink?
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell it's maybe not as strong as it was after they first ingested it, but yeah, they are still under some effect of it.
So yeah, so Edward just kind of laughs as he realizes that maybe it's just the drink that is the reason that they're not hearing, what he's saying, and it's just like your friend Hanson, most likely dead. You will be too before morning. Probably we all will.
Well,
perhaps not even I will survive this.
Unless you have a way to prevent that, there's nothing we can do at this point. Except sleep, and the hay was fresh.
Oh, death and all this death and destruction. You want it too much. Tomorrow morning we will awake ourselves and we'll have a nice breakfast and then find Hanson, perhaps dead.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, you make it till morning.
Okay.
Is there a way that rather than going up in the loft, like could I sleep behind the ladder somehow or something?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to sleep on the bottom, sure you could. I mean, it just wouldn't be. I mean, you'd be smelling the animals and stuff. The horses, your horses, and some other animals and there. But yeah, I mean, you can definitely stay down bottom.
Well, I don't know if I necessarily want to sleep, but I do want to kind of disguise myself down there. Maybe I'll just hide behind some hay bales and kind of cover myself with some hay. Yeah, I mean, as best I can, I probably won't sleep unless we do make it till morning and get back on the carriage and on the road.
For some reason, I picture like Predator, except you're using like the poop and stuff instead of mud.
Well, I'll have the first watch, and then he positions himself next to the door, and watches the rest of the group as they rest.
In hearing this, that somebody's going to take watch, Sir Edward, would you want to try to get some sleep during that period or not?
Well, if we're actually going to set up a watch, then maybe I will actually. No, I'm still going to stay down bottom. But yeah. If we're actually going to organize a watch, yeah, I'll take like second watch then.
All right, perfect. So James,
third watch. I want to take third watch. Third. Someone else can take second.
All right.
Yeah, I'm ready.
So James, you take your first watch. Nothing happens. I mean, it's peaceful and quiet. You hear the crickets and things out in the night, of course. Who would be taking second watch?
I guess I'll take second if
All right.
wants third. Yeah.
Your first part of your watch, Shaw, goes very peaceful and quiet. You hear the same animal noises coming from inside and outside. But close to the end of your watch, you start dozing off.
Oh
You
man.
start falling asleep. And you think, well, you just drank too much ale, maybe, or just that. It's been a rough day with all the troubles that you've had and all the things. And you nod off close to the end of your watch. Sir Edward, roll me a, I tell you what, test your constitution 3d6.
All right. We'll slowly add it up again. It's kind of intense. I have a 16 con, so I have a pretty good chance.
Yep, you
All
should.
right.
I hope.
First roll is a 1.
Perfect.
Second roll is a 2, so I got it for sure. Third roll is another 2, so that's a total of 5 under 16.
Yeah, maybe you're having dreams or whatever. Something nods you awake, and you hear Shaw over there snoring. You can hear him snoring, and you know that he's fallen asleep or something. He's passed out. But you notice something else also during the dark part of the night. It is now. You see outside of the stable area where you're at, the doors, have been secured, of course, but you see people, you hear people talking and stuff, and you see different lights of torches and maybe some lanterns and stuff that are flowing out and stuff outside of the stable, out in the street.
I'm gonna grab my hand crossbow and I'm going to just raise it a little bit. I'm gonna be as quiet as I can. I'm gonna do my best to act like I'm asleep, but I'm gonna grab my hand crossbow in one hand and grab that bottle of holy water that I had in the other. I assume I maybe put it in a small sack or something, because I have 2 small sacks that I keep things in.
All right.
So one of those sacks, I'll take the bottle of holy water out that I probably would have stored there. So I have a bottle of holy water in one hand and my hand crossbow in the other. And I'm even though I've woken up and I can hear, the other guy snoring, I'm watching now, waiting for the door to open.
Do you wake up any of the rest of them?
I'm not yet. I don't want to alert the guys that are coming to get us that I'm awake.
You wait a few minutes as you're watching. You can hear the voices outside of the villagers, and you may recognize a few of the voices. You can hear one of them, of course, is the barkeep, and you can hear the single phrases of Bender, yes, no, yes. And you finally hear a woman's voice go, "Let's get it over with now. It's time." You see the doors open up as Bender, the smithy, the large man, opens the doors. And you see the barkeep sitting there. He's wearing all black now. Everybody is wearing all black. And I tell you what, roll me a d6 to see if you're going to be hidden from their view.
Oh, 5.
Oh, no, unfortunately, they see you standing there. You hear the barkeep.
I was still laying back. Like I said, I was trying to pretend I'm asleep.
Yeah, but they see you. They see your movement with a 5.
Oh, okay. All right. I get you.
Yeah, I was going to give you a 4 or 6, but they see you. And you hear the barkeep go, "Pretty boy, I'll take care of him."
All right.
And you hear a woman's voice that you haven't heard before, this voice, and you hear her go, "Wake up, my pretties. Wake up now. Renounce your religion. Renounce who you serve and what you do. You will join the new master. Everything will be fine. But you must renounce. Wake up, my pretties." The rest of you start waking up to dreams or visions or whatever as you hear the last of this, I'm sure, and see and hear the townsfolk with pitchforks and torches and such outside.
James clambers to his feet and says, "By God, what has happened here?" He dives and grabs his walking stick, his cane, and tries to sling his battle gear on as quickly as possible. I don't know if that's possible.
You're able to. None of the villagers. They're all standing out in a circle, blocking the whole front of the entranceway outside. And of course, you recognize the barkeep and the large blacksmith has stepped back in the line. Also, you see the beautiful young woman come out of the edge of the deal, and you can tell it was her voice that was just speaking to you. And she says, make way for the master now. She goes, you all awake now. You have one chance. You have to renounce who you serve and what you do. You will join the new master. If not, you will die.
Sir James replies outside, "Who is your new master?"
Oh, I'm so glad you've asked that question. As you see the waves of people kind of making and parting their way, this is what you see walking up to stand next to the woman. She says, "This is the master, Black Phillip. You will serve Black Phillip or you will die tonight."
"Your master's a yak?" He laughs.
"You old fool, he's a goat."
"Well, I am not well versed in animal husbandry."
Yes, I don't think it's a yak. Seems like a goat.
"Renounce your religion now or die."
What do you think, Shaw? Should we just shoot at that goat then?
We don't see the goat, right? She's just showing us a picture of it?
No, you actually saw the goat walk up to the front of the line next to her and Steiner, the barkeep, and some of the other ones.
Oh, yeah. Then I say, I've been wanting some cheese since we've been here. And I move forward to kill the goat.
As soon as you move forward, roll me a d6.
All right. I'm doing it. 1. That's either very good or very bad.
That's very good.
Okay.
Nothing happens before you take, maybe you're kind of not really surprised, but you do catch them off guard, even the goat himself. So we'll go into straight initiative. Let's see. Let me write down my people.
That's pretty good, though.
What about Sir James? What'd you get on D12?
1 second here. I got 10.
All right, Shaw.
7.
Klaus.
11.
Ooh. Can you bring them out, Edward?
Okay.
What'd you get?
Oh, a 1.
Oh, yeah. You got a 1. You lead us off, then.
Okay. So it's the bartender that's coming to get me, right?
You see them all standing. None of them have actually come into the stable itself. You see them all standing in a big line, blocking the whole exit out. And the goat has stepped up maybe 2 or 3 foot in front of the line. But the woman's been the only one telling you to renounce who you are and your religion.
Okay. And I'm still in the barn, right?
Yep, as far as I know, all of y'all are still standing there.
Okay. Are there any lanterns or anything that are on right now in the barn?
Not unless y'all would have set one up.
Did anyone set one up?
Nope. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, James would have when he was on the first watch.
I mean, like, if...
Right.
During James's first watch, he would have kept the lantern on.
Did you hear that, Crystal? He said he set one up.
Okay, so is there a lot of hay and stuff in this barn?
Most of it is up top of where y'all were sleeping. Of course, there's some in the few individual stalls where the animals are.
And the lantern, is it, like, near there in any way?
What do you want to do? Tell me what you want to do.
I want to. I'm thinking about trying to shoot a crossbow bolt like up through the lantern and have the oil splash over the barn and catch the barn on fire.
With
Go
us
for it.
inside? Oh
Yep.
no!
With us inside.
That's
Go
terrible.
Go for it. Make an attack roll.
Okay. Do I get dexterity bonus or anything?
Yeah, if you had that +1 on Dex, yeah.
Okay, I think I do. Let me make sure. Nope, I put it on wisdom and con. Okay, so nope, just a 10.
You shoot your bolt up towards the lantern of where Sir James has hung it. And with everything going on, you miss it.
Right.
The goat is up next, or Black Phillip, as they have named him. He moves up 5 feet or so. He looks towards you, Sir Klaus, and I need you to make me a saving throw.
Yes.
All right.
Made it by 2.
You feel for just a moment as this Black Phillip looks at you with these dark red piercing eyes. For just a moment, you can't move. I mean, it's just real quick. It's like you're held in place, but you're able to break free of it. You see some of the townsfolk as they're up next. They move towards you. Some of them are armed with pitchforks. Some of them are armed with hand knives and such. But you see the large man known as Steiner. It was at the lead of the deal. He looks straight towards you, Sir Edward, and he goes, "You're not going to renounce because I'm going to kill you." He charges straight towards you with this large axe that he's holding.
Yeah.
And he is going to try to hit you with this axe, Sir Edward.
Okay.
And he is going to, oh man. He hits you with a 16, and you will take max damage of 7 as this axe just slices straight into you.
Okay. When Edward hears him say that he's going to kill me and he starts charging, he says, "You can try." And the man cuts into him, cleaves straight down into his shoulder, and his blood runs down his shoulder. He looks up at the man and says, "You'll fail, but you can try."
The rest of you see this happen as this one man, the barkeep, a large barkeep, charged and runs in and just cleaves into Sir Edward. You see some of the other townsfolk are moving in closer to the front of the entrance of the stable and the barn, holding these, forming weapons, and some of them armed with, some type of other hand axes and knives. But none of them are making any move. They still have a path open where you can see the large goat standing out there looking towards you. As we go up to you, Shaw.
All right, I'm charging the goat.
All right.
Yeah. So with my scimitar, assuming I can get close enough to him, and I say,
Yeah, you got enough room to get to him.
I'm gonna say, I want some cheese. Oh, natural 20.
All right. That hits, of course.
You got some cheese.
Nice.
Are you doing crits or no crits today?
Nah, no crits. But
Okay.
it hits definitely.
It's the all right. Oh, but it's still 7 points of damage. 5 plus
7.
2. Yep.
All right. Let me figure out my deals here, because. All right, I've got him. What about Sir James? You're up next.
Are there animals inside the barn? We're still inside the barn, right?
Yeah, you're still inside there. They've got your way blocked where you cannot walk out right now unless you fight your way out. And yeah, your horses are in there, and there are also some other stable animals in there too.
Okay. James is gonna actually try to, free the animals, cut the reins, and then make a ruckus so that these animals would rush out of there to create a diversion.
All right,
or
perfect.
confusion.
Yeah, you're able to do that this turn. That sounds good to me. What about Sir Klaus?
Klaus is going to fire his pistol. Is he within pistol range of Philip?
Of the goat?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would also know Shaw run up there next to him, and there's a crowd of people there, but you could definitely try and hope you don't get a 1 on that D10.
Yeah, I hope so. That's a 19.
All right, roll your D10.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. 1.
Are you serious?
I'm
Oh no!
throwing this pistol away.
All right, I'm gonna roll a random though to see if it hits Shaw, one of the villagers. Of course, it hits Shaw. So roll damage.
Only 5.
Shaw, you're hit by a pistol shot from the rear.
Did you shoot me? What was the damage? Sorry, my cat was making noise. 5 damage? Is that what happened?
Yes, it was.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I thought that the extra adrenaline will help you fight.
Hey, you gave him a swift kick in the ass. That helped him. All right, we're up next to the next round. So everybody roll, and I'll get you in just a moment. All right, Sir James, what'd you get?
Sir James gets 3.
All right. What about Shaw?
I got a 3 as well. Aha.
That swift kick helped. And Klaus?
4.
Man, we may all be in a row again. What about Edward?
7.
Everybody is in a row. This is a 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Nice.
All right, Shaw, you and James. I'm gonna. Sir James, you're letting the animals loose, but I'll get back to you in a minute. Shaw, you're engaged with the goat and also just been hit by one of your companions, unfortunately. So you go first.
So I get shot in the back, and I'm like, again? And I attack the goat. 16 plus 5 is 21. That should hit it, I guess.
Yep, you need a 19 to hit the goat.
Ooh.
Or a nat 20.
Nice. Max damage.
All right, how much?
So 6 plus 2. 8. Boom.
8? Okay, good.
Ah, the scimitar is cutting this goat to pieces.
Yeah, you can see you've done some damage to it, but he's standing pretty strong and stout, it appears also. Sir James.
I guess, Tony, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming this is witch, right? So it's not, he's not a demon.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. That's my fault. I'm sorry. We need to retcon something. The goat is actual infernal, so yeah, you need to add your stuff. That's my man. I forgot all about it. I'm looking at my notes here.
I was thinking it might have been a witch thing, but then I was like, maybe he himself is okay. So I get to add my. What do you add to it? I don't think I've ever fought my kind before.
You would add your.
Let
me look and see what it would be at that level.
I've never had this happen. But I actually have the thing.
Except in the last game.
You would add 8 more damage is what you would do because you had that +4.
Holy, whoa.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So yeah.
Let me adjust that. I'll add 8 more damage.
Wow. Woo!
Because that was, that's from the 4 each turn. So.
That's what he's infernal.
Crystal, you need to know this. If the beautiful young lady gets engaged, if you engage her, you get the sense that she's some type of witch or fae. So you would need to know that.
Am I supposed to be surprised?
No, not of course. All right, so James, what would you like to do? You're letting the animals out now. Some of them are starting to come out of the stables, it appears, and they don't really know what to do quite yet with the block of the entrance. But what would you like to do?
Hopefully that's creating some confusion, but in the midst of chaos, he runs up right next to Shaw and raises up his cane, his Remington, and aims at the goat and fires away.
All right.
And does 15 plus 4, so 19.
Yep, 19 will hit him.
Okay. He hits him with 1d6 plus 1, 5 points of damage.
All right. You do some more damage, it appears, to this large goat, but it still seems to be standing fairly strong right now. And Klaus, you're up next.
I will draw my saber and charge at Steiner, who's attacking Philip, right? Or,
all right.
Attacking Sir Edward.
Correct.
And yes, that. Oh my God, another 1.
Oh my gosh.
What am I doing tonight?
Man, your dice have been cursed.
Oh, it's been horrible.
Black Phillip has cursed you without even trying.
What witchery is this?
And speaking of Black Phillip, the goat, it is his turn next.
Oh boy.
He is going to look towards you, Shaw, because you have really pissed him off.
Yeah, can imagine.
And I need you to make me a saving throw.
Save. Here we go. Oh, well, 1. So that's not going to pass, even with the plus.
Ooh. You feel in your mind very confused now. You have no idea where you are, what's going on. Maybe you feel like it's that ale coming back. But for the next, hey, you're lucky, only one round. For the next round, you're just going to kind of wander around, not doing anything.
Okay.
So you'll pretty much just lose your turn next round. The townsfolk are up next. They will, of course, Steiner's trying to kill the little pretty boy that he don't like. So he's going to try to jam that axe into you again, Sir Edward. He'll miss this time. Thank goodness it would have been max damage again, but he misses. Some of the other townsfolk are coming up towards you, Sir James, now that you're engaged with their god, Black Phillip. There's going to be a couple of them that are going to swing at you with some homemade weapons. One of them will hit, and you'll take 4 points of damage, Sir James, as one of them slices into you with this pitchfork.
Ah! Pitchfork.
You see the beautiful young woman standing there laughing and saying, all you had to do was renounce who you are. Renounce your religion and serve the new master.
Is it too late to do so now?
No, you can serve and join us now, old man, or you will die tonight.
Just give me a moment here.
As soon as you say that, she runs straight towards you and takes this dagger out and tries to jab you with a dagger. Ooh, 19 on the die. Oh my gosh, you'll take max damage of 4 and make me a saving throw.
Definitely not sold.
6. So he fails his saving throw. How many points of damage did I take? 4?
4 HP, yep.
Oh,
You
man.
fail your saving throw as you feel the liquid start burning into your skin. And you start getting just sick. You'll lose your next turn as you feel this poison going into your system. And she whispers in your ear and goes, the little boy you sent me earlier tonight, he didn't last long.
You damn bitch! I shall slay you!
And speaking of, we are up to Sir Edward next.
So this guy took his axe out and Edward's shoulder, and Edward used that moment to jimmy around so the guy would hit the board next to him. And since he still has that vial of holy water in his hand, he wants to bring it up and try and toss it into this guy's eyes and just break it across his eyes. And if he's not some kind of evil, maybe it'll blind him or something for a second.
Yeah, that sounds good. Just a regular, melee strength roll attack.
Okay, got a 13.
Yeah, you hit him with 13. So I tell you what, roll D3 damage for the hitting and breaking the glass on him.
Okay. 3.
All right, you do 3 points of damage to him, and you can see him. He's going to be blinded the next deal. So if he tries to attack, he'll have a -4 on his next deal. And speaking of which, the next round. Let's see. How about Sir James?
James gets 6 once again.
All right. Shaw.
I got a 4 this time.
All right. We may all be in a row again. Here we go. Klaus.
11.
Oh, Klaus messed it up. Edward.
3.
Everybody's in a row except Klaus. Edward, lead us out.
As Edward comes back around, seeing his plan pay off, he will kind of smile to himself and say, "Gosh, this is why your country could never truly win." And he unsheaths his sword and brings his sword down to slash the man in the back and says, "Lack of tactics," as he does so.
All right.
That's a 13 to hit.
Yeah, that hits him.
For 2 points of damage.
Yeah, you take some damage out of him. You know, he's still standing, but you've definitely got his attention with your attacks. Shaw.
I'm confused this round.
Yep, you are. You have no idea what's going on.
I have no idea what's going on.
The townsfolk, the two on you, Sir James, are going to try to hit you again. One of them will hit again. Ooh, 5 damage max with their weapons. And you see the beautiful woman as she's sitting there next to you, Sir James, and she goes, "That wasn't enough, was it? You leave now, old man. Make me a saving throw." Sir James?
Yep. 14, he makes it.
Yeah. You're able to fight off whatever she tries to do at you, and she just scowls at you now. We're up to you now, Sir James.
Sir James yells, "You damn witch! We shall slay you! I can't attack you now, but give me a moment and I shall slay you."
We go to the goat, the new master. He is going to look towards you, Sir James, because he's tired of hearing your noise of you calling his friend a witch. So make me another saving throw. We'll go with that.
All right, here we go. 19!
Ooh, good. Nothing happens. Klaus, what do you want to do?
Klaus is just kind of Steiner is still up, right?
Yeah, he's engaged there, rubbing at his eyes as you see Edward strike into him.
Yeah, Klaus makes another swing at him and completely misses.
Yep, as you miss him, he's also going to this turn. He's just going to miss his turn this time as he's wiping his eyes and clearing. So we'll go to the next one. Sir James, what'd you get on 12?
8.
James on 8. What about Shaw?
4 this time.
And Klaus?
That is a 10.
And Sir Edward?
9.
Shaw, lead us off.
Okay, so Shaw shakes his head. The confusion is drifting from, and he sees the goat, and he says, "Are you still here?" And he swings. I got 20. This die is good.
All right.
This is my DM die. 6 damage, and also +2 +4, so 12 damage.
12 damage? Oh, yeah.
That's
You take a very big chunk out of this thing, and he's still standing, no, but you take a big chunk out of him for that, for sure. Speaking of Black Phillip, he's about had enough of you, Shaw.
I bet.
Let's see. Make me a saving throw.
All right. 12, and he's my chosen prey, so 14. So that should be good unless there's any minuses on it.
Yep. Nothing happens then.
Okay.
You see his breath getting bad, and you see his red eyes piercing and burning into you, of course. Sir James, you're up next.
Keep your foul magic back.
Are there any horses still in the barn?
Yeah, you can see. I rolled. You can see the horses. They're all confused. They don't appear, especially y'all's 2 horses. They're pretty well tamed and trained. They don't want to run out through this crowd of people. But
Sir James tries to hop on one and tries to break through the line directly out of this fortification of people. Just charge through it so that he could get away from this blockade.
Yep, that sounds great to me. You ain't gonna have to roll anything. You're able to get out into the street on a horseback. That's great. Do you want to attack any of the townsfolk or try to swing at the witch or anything?
Basically, what he's gonna do is he's gonna like run into the night farther away from these guys and start shooting with his with his rifle from far away.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. You're able to get away enough turn. You can shoot next time. That sounds good to me, Edward.
All right. This guy that Edward blinded, I mean, is he kind of out of the fight for now? Or
no, you can tell, but he's got all most of the stuff wiped out of his eyes. You can tell he's probably fixing to try to swing at you.
Okay. Like, did the holy water look like it burned him at all, or did it just blind him?
Nah, it was just blinded him enough to.
Can I just like break this guy's leg while he's getting this stuff out of his eyes? Fine, like, you know, I'm like, I don't want to fight him. I just want to like walk and just break his leg so he can't walk.
Make me a regular attack roll and just see what you get, and we'll go from there.
All right. 17.
Roll me a d6.
All right. 5.
Which leg, which knee, or whatever?
I mean, it doesn't make any difference. Left, I guess.
All right. You're able to knock him down. He's still standing up. I mean, you did some damage to him also, but I mean, he's still standing and holding his axe there. As we jump to you, Klaus.
Well, I'll try to stick him with my saber again. Nope, that's a miss.
Oh.
Have I hit anything tonight? I don't think I have. Oh my gosh.
As you knock this guy down, Sir Edward, he takes one last swing at you with this axe before he goes completely down. Whew, a 19. You'll take 2 points of damage as he slices the axe into you as he falls down, as you've taken his knees or whatever out from under him, though, but he gets that one last hit on you.
And are you serious? To the very end? Really? How typical.
As you're doing that, Sir Edward, and finishing that up, some of the townsfolk are trying to encircle around Sir James and the horse they think maybe he's trying to escape, so they're circling around him. Sir Edward, you feel a touch on the back of your shoulder, and you hear the voice of the beautiful woman go, "You should have renounced what you believe in. You could have been with me this evening. Instead, the little boy you sent, he didn't last long." And as she does that, you feel these flames just burn into your shoulder. You'll take 5 points of damage as these flames just flicker off her fingers and her hands and burn into your shoulder for 5 points.
Don't I get some kind of reduction or something? No, I don't think I just get extra points against her.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's sitting right on top of you now.
All right.
And that does everybody that's going to do anything. So we'll go to the next round. Make my notes.
I got 3 this round.
3 for James. All right. What about Shaw?
9 this time.
Klaus.
11.
And Edward.
7.
The townsfolk did good. They got a 2. The witch that is staying behind you is going to try to take the dagger and stab into you now. Sir Edward. She's going to miss, though, with the dagger. The townsfolk around you, Sir James, they're going to try to pull you off the horse. So let's see if they can do it. Not with rolls like that, they can't. Steiner, the barkeep that you've knocked down, he's screaming in pain with his probably broken knee or just dislocated knee and stuff, his leg and stuff. He's not going to do anything. So, James, you are up next.
He's continuing to ride and out of the range, or pretty far away from the townsfolks. He turns around and aims his rifle at that goat again, and
All right.
fires off a shot. This is for you, and rolls 1. Damn. Natural 1.
Oh man! Oh my gosh! Describe how you hit Shaw with that, man.
Jeez. As he levels his rifle and says, "This is for you, goatee," and then shoots off a round. Shaw at the same time, goes for a spectacular vertical attack with his scimitar and blocks the path and gets hit square on the shoulder instead, and he does 3 points of damage on him.
All right.
The goat. If the goat could laugh, he would now, as it is up to his turn. He looks towards you, Shaw, again, as you're engaged with him, and he gives you the look again as I need you to make me a saving throw.
Okay. That time I got a 19, so that should pass.
All right, nothing happens. Edward, you're up next.
Edward feels this burning sensation run down his back. He gets a look of pain on his face as he does so. And he takes a breath as he looks at the one whose hand is on his shoulder. He winks and says, "Kinky," before taking out his sword and slashing at her.
All right.
And I'll roll a 3, of course.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh, come on, Shaw. You've been hit again by your allies, but
Yeah,
you're able to hold the goat off for now.
Yeah, I've taken a lot of damage, all from my allies.
Close.
I look at the goat and I say, "Time to pay time to pay my blade with your blood." That might not hit though. 10 plus 6, so 16.
Nope, that misses.
Okay.
You'll need a 19.
Okay, yeah. So.
All right, Carl.
Does Tony suddenly sound like God to y'all?
That was an echo. I don't know where it come from.
It's the witch.
It's the goat.
It's the goat. Whose turn is it?
It's yours, Klaus.
Oh, I'm just waiting politely for someone else to go. Yeah, I'm going to try slashing the witch since Steiner appears to be down. That's a 19
Oh, you hit her with that.
for 6 points.
Ooh, you hit her pretty good. She's still
Yeah.
up, but you hit her very well with that.
Apparently, I can hit women, but nothing else.
Oh man.
Let's see.
And taking that out of context.
We'll go up to the next round. What did you get, Sir James?
James got 8 this round.
All right. What about Shaw?
I got a 1.
All right.
That.
And Klaus?
Believe it or not, an 11 again.
Oh my gosh. How about Edward?
I think this is weighted.
Oh, Edward got an 11.
Oh man. All right, Shaw, of course you can lead us out.
All right. So I look at the goat who dodged my attack the last time, and I level my sword, my scimitar, dripping with its blood, and I swing again. This time is a 19, which is what I need exactly.
Yep,
So
you hit him.
I just hit him. 5 plus 6. I'm doing plus 6 damage, so 11. Whoosh.
Ooh, yeah, that'll be. You've hurt this thing. He's still up, but you've hurt him. You can tell that he's not seeing those red piercing eyes quite as much as he was, but he is still up.
Die.
The townsfolk Steiner is still down. He's not going. He's in pain. You really kicked his knee and leg in good, Edward. So he's not going to do nothing, of course. The witch is standing there as Klaus just did some damage to her. Let's see which one she's going. She's going after you, Klaus. She don't like that at all. So she's going to reach over and grab and touch you. And you'll take 4 points of damage as these fingers and stuff just turn into flames and start burning into you. You'll take 4 points of damage.
Okay.
And she looks at you and goes, you should have come, old man, instead of the boy. Maybe you would have lasted longer. The townsfolk are still going to try to chase you down on the horse there, Sir James. Let's see if I can get to you. They are still coming after you. They're not able to get to you by now. Speaking of, Sir James, you're up.
He circles around and he aims his light crossbow at the goat this time because he has to. I think he has to reload that rifle in order to shoot.
Right.
So he lets off a shot of crossbow and rolls 3. So he misses miserably.
Yep. Shaw, you're able to duck out of the way as you hear the whiz of the crossbow. Black Phillip hears the whiz and's out of the way. He has no other target but you at this point, Shaw. This time, with all the great mental acuity you have, he's going to rail back and ram into you with these large goat horns on his head and try to ram into you and do some damage that way. So let's see if he can do it. Oh, yep. 13. You'll take 4 points of damage as he rams into you with those horns.
My party does more damage to me than that.
Klaus and Edward, we're up to you two.
Go ahead, Klaus.
Yes. Well, I'm going to try hitting the witch again.
All right.
And I'll swing with the saber, and it is a 1.
Oh, no. Wow.
I might actually join Philip if this keeps going this way.
Sir Edward, your friend is just not helping out much.
Well, that's typical. Yeah, Edward. Edward will say, "I'm sorry. I always have a hard time performing when there's multiple audiences." And he'll attempt to slice her again with his magic sword. This time, 16 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits her.
All right, and 5 damage. And I gotta go let my cat in.
All right, you do some more damage to her. She's looking weak. Let's see. We'll go up to the next round. That's not good. What about Sir James? What'd you get?
6. I'm rolling that a lot tonight.
And Shaw.
9.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah.
Klaus.
12. Yay!
And Sir Edward, when you get back.
No, there's gone.
Y'all are gonna have to all go back for firearms training. I think black powder firearms training.
I think so.
All right,
It's about
Crystal,
time to
initiative
retire.
D12.
Initiative.
Yep.
6.
All right, perfect. Black Phillip is going to start us out this time. He got a 3. He's going to try to ram you again this time, Shaw, because it seemed like it worked pretty good the last time. So let's see if it will this time. Oh, he got his nat 1, so he misses.
Oh, fuck.
James and Edward, y'all are up again together. So whichever one wants to go first, Sir James or Edward.
Go ahead, James.
Out of,
Oh.
out of ammunition, He pulls out his sword, and James, it's time to charge! And from the back, he comes through the crowd and charges into Black Phillip and swings at him.
All right.
And he does 9 plus 15.
15 will miss Black Phillip. He's able to dodge out of the way of the horse.
Damn.
All right, Sir Edward.
Okay, so first I want to say I was actually supposed to do 2 extra damage last time because of my my thing against Faye.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's fine.
All right. And yeah, I'll just attempt to go ahead and slice against her again. 19 on the die, so it's like a 22 to hit.
Yeah, damage.
And that'll be a total of 5 damage.
How do you finish out your chosen prey then? Is that takes her out? He says, I definitely would have lasted longer, hun. I would have gone the full mile. And he brings his sword back up and just like cleaves like through her rib cage and up like slicing her heart like out of her rib cage. All right. She's down. You hear Steiner let out a yell as you do this to her. He is actually not able to move, but he is going to throw that axe and try to hit you with it, Edward, as it is up to his turn. Nat 20.
Oh,
nice.
You'll take 4 points of damage as that he throws that axe straight into you.
Man, I knew I should have took that axe from him.
we have it now.
The townsfolk, yeah, it's right there. You can pull it out of your body. The townsfolk are still trying to chase you down, Sir James, and pull you off that horse. Ooh, an 18 and a 19. Roll me 4d6 against your dex. Now my dice are on fire.
4d6. Oh man. Yeah, he falls off.
Yeah, they pull you off the horse. You have been dismounted officially.
Oh man.
Shah, you see this happen, and you're standing there next, of course, to Black Phillip.
Okay, so sorry, I lost my thing. So I say, stand true, Sir James. Let's kill this beast. I'm going to swing at the goat. 17 plus 4 plus 6. So that is. Yep. 3 plus 6, so 9 points of damage.
Yep, you damage him. He's still standing there. Klaus.
I'll just let's see what we do with Steiner here with the saber. Oh, it's a 19 for 6.
Yep, nice. You hit Steiner. If you want to kill him or however you want to do it, you can finish him off.
We'll just coup de grace right through the ribs.
Yep, he is no longer with us.
Yeah, I'll just put the man out of his misery.
He is out of his misery as we go to the next round. Oh man.
Wait, I didn't get a turn, did I?
Yeah. Remember you killed the witch.
Oh, that was that one? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought we won again.
You killed your chosen prey.
Yep, you killed your chosen prey. You did the best thing.
Sorry, I thought we... Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought we had already gone again for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, that's okay. You're still up. That's all that counts. Sir James, what'd you roll?
I roll 6 again.
All right. Well, that's not bad, I guess. What about Shah?
I also rolled a 6.
Oh, wow. Klaus?
I rolled an 8.
Man, some of y'all may be in a row again. What about Edward?
7.
Wow. There's two groups of people tied. 2 people on 6, 2 people on 7. Black Phillip got a 1. Let me see what he's going to do real quick. All right, this is what he's going to do. Make y'all's life hell. Because that's where he wants to take you, of course. You're standing closest to it, Klaus. You see Steiner stand back up and start grumbling and growling and making these noises as he has been reanimated and come back to life.
I roll my eyes.
James and Shaw, you're on 6s.
You can go, James, since you're recovering.
Yeah, James says, "Enough of you, you little goat. I just had about enough of you, your mewling." And then he slashes across in a horizontal fashion with his magic sword. And I hit 20. That's with all the bonuses.
Yeah, that hits Black Phillip.
And he does 6 points of damage.
Nice.
You take a big chunk out of him. You can see Black Phillip appears to the whatever form he's in. And that did quite a bit to him. As we go to you, Shaw.
All right. I swing. That is just enough. 15 plus 4. No, plus 6. That's actually 21, so that is.
All right.
That's perfect. 2. My damage keeps dropping little by little, though. 2 plus 6 is 8. Still a lot, but.
All right. First of all, you can describe for me how the apparition of the goat known as Black Phillip dissipates and disappears, but something will happen after that. But you can describe how you finish Black Phillip, or what you think is finished for now.
Right. So, Black Phillip turns his head to look at Sir James after that massive attack, and that gave me the opening to swing by and cleave the head clean off the body, which for a second I feel is victory.
The head rolls off the body, and these red eyes, it rolls on the ground, and it turns, the head does for just a moment as it pierces straight into you, Shaw, and it pierces into you, Sir James, of y'all the two closest to it. Both of you make a saving throw at -2.
Oh, no.
14, 12. He makes it.
I failed.
Sir James, you're okay. As the red piercing eyes, you're able to turn away in time from them. Shaw, I'll let you describe how the death that you just caused, which this is justice, I guess, for the Black Phillip, if you're the one that took his head off. Since you failed your save, you can describe how your intelligence has just been lowered to 3 permanently, and you're pretty much feeble-minded, if you want to describe how that transpires now.
Okay, yeah. So I see these eyes, and I'm just staring at them, and I can't stop staring at them, and then I don't really know where I am anymore, and I'm very confused. I'm also kind of frightened. Yeah, and I fall on the ground.
Yep, you are pretty much just a child now as far as mentally. I mean, you've been completely, your intelligence is completely gone. You're just, unfortunately, feeble-minded permanently. Edward, you see the body of Steiner stand back up. Is it just standing there?
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with that. I'm still kind of upset that I got an axe in my back. I'm like, trying to spare your life, and that's how you repay me. God, should have taken the axe. And I'm gonna take my last bottle of holy water that I have out of that sack, and I'm just gonna pitch it as hard as I can at this bull thing.
Into what now? I misheard the last part.
The second bottle of holy water that I have. I'm just gonna pitch it as hard as I can at that goat.
The goat's dead. The goat's gone.
Oh, I thought what's the new form of it?
There's not a new form.
Oh, so
That was
it's just
the final act, basically, was to bless me.
Oh, well then I'll throw it at the reanimated Steiner, I guess.
All right, that works.
Oh, okay. Attack. Got it. 5.
Yeah, it goes over and hits the lantern that Sir James hung at the beginning of the night.
You couldn't hit me with that. You have to hit me with guns.
The townsfolk outside of where the goat has just been beheaded, You see all the townsfolk as we're standing encircling y'all. You see all of them fall on the ground. It appears that they're in some type of sleep or trance or something. They just all fall to the ground. The ones that are inside of the stable trying to help out in there, they all fall to the ground except the reanimated body as it moves towards and tries to grab you, Sir Edward, to pretty much just grab you and choke you. And it will do it with a 16. And you'll take 3 points of damage as it just grabs you and is just choking around your throat as it just slams into you for 3 points. Klaus, what do you want to do?
I'm going to hammer on Steiner.
All right.
That's 19 for 3 points.
What do you do to this reanimated Steiner that he's got a hold of Edward just choking him down, trying to kill him, but whatever you just did knocks him back down to the ground again?
Basically, I just take the saber and I kind of run it through the side of his neck, and then with everything I got, just pitch him backwards.
Yep, and he pitches and falls backward off your saber, and he's not moving at this point. And then you all notice all the townsfolk appear to be in some type of sleep or trance or something. None of them are moving or anything. Sir James, you see Shaw curled up on the ground, pretty much like a child, like he's reaching and grabbing for maybe his security blanket or whatever, as he's mumbling and saying stuff on the ground. I'll let y'all take it from there, as there's no other thing to attack.
James, not realizing something has happened to Shaw, says, "Well done, chap. You slew that demon. You cleaved his head right off his head. Right off his neck. Well done." And then looks at him. Shaw? Are you all right?
He's basically cowering in fear with all this destruction, and he doesn't really know what to make of it.
And then he leans down and examines him.
He's drooling a little bit.
Alas, the demon in his last act must have cursed you. And then he rises up and says, "Klaus, come over here. Are you all right?" Sir Edward. He calls out to the rest of his party.
Edward is beginning to actually walk around and start to examine the townsfolk. He wants, if they're standing there, he'll look into their eyes and try to examine them. Mostly what he's looking for is sign of what kind of witchery they've been hexed by, because everyone that hexed them should be dead. So
it appears that now that they've went, whatever thing they were under is probably disappeared, of course, as you can tell, but you can tell it appears they're all in some kind of just natural sleep now. It seems like they've just all fell off into kind of like your clown game where everybody just wanted to sleep so bad. I mean, they've just all nodded off into this natural sleep. Some of them may be even snoring.
Okay. All right. Okay. Edward will just kind of look that over. He's just going to kind of ignore Sir James.
Our friend Shaw here. He seems to be under some sort of a strange effect. He tries to rummage through his belongings to see if he could find that fetish that he was given earlier.
As you're looking for that, you see the lady Shaw made friends with talk to at the apothecary. You see the old lady making her way down the street after all the chaos has ended. She hasn't fallen asleep. She's still awake. She moves up to you and she says, "Thank you. It was too powerful for me. There was nothing I could do. I hope what I gave you helped. But it appears one of your friends has been... Something is wrong. Do you know what happened?"
Well, he beheaded this demon, and as its head fell onto the ground, he started curling up and he couldn't get up anymore. I don't know what exactly has happened to him, but I'm afraid some great curse has been put upon him. Can you reverse it?
She makes her way over to where you are, Shaw, curled up. And she looks down into your eyes and she says, "You have been cursed with something awful that has taken away your mind. I know that you cannot understand what I am saying to you, but close your eyes. Everything will be okay. Close your eyes." How does Shaw respond?
Yeah, so Shaw, I mean, he's nervous, but she's, speaking in a soothing way. So he after a second he closes his eyes, and then he immediately opens them and realizes that she's not killing him. So he closes them again.
She turns towards you, Sir Edward and Klaus and Sir James, and she says, "Being an old lady, I cannot carry much. I need you to carry him to my shop. I will do my best to try to restore what has been stolen from him."
As you wish. And then he grabs Shaw and tries to carry him with.
Yeah, Klaus will come up and also assist.
Edward's going to let them take care of that. He's going to start grabbing the bodies, and he's putting them all in a pile. And yeah, I mean, he's going to burn all these bodies.
What bodies? What all bodies?
The sleeping people?
Goat. No, the goat, the witch, the undead dude.
Yep, those three.
All of the people that we killed in this place. Yep, gathering them up, burning them. I mean, the sleeping townspeople, I'm going to let them be. I mean, they're just sleeping townspeople. I'm going to, but no, all of the people that have been, overtly evil certainly are about to be burned.
Yeah, you're able to get Steiner's body and the witch's body as soon as you reach and grab the head, the beheaded head of the Black Phillip goat. Make me a save.
Great. Okay. What's my save? A 9. Okay. Do I get any kind of bonus?
Nope, just straight save.
All right. Okay. Oh, goddamn. Nat 1.
Oh no.
Oh man.
All right. Nothing happens right now. You feel something as you grab the head and maybe you tingle or shiver for just a moment. The head, poof, disappears out of sight as soon as you touch it, but you feel the tingle and shiver. Something will come into play at the end of the story, but nothing right now. But you're able to grab the body of Steiner, the witch, and anybody else that was dead that you would want to burn. There's no trouble. They don't reanimate. You're able to burn them.
Right.
While you're doing that, the rest of them take you, Shaw, back to the old lady's shop. She works heavily in the rest of the night, feverishly, and asks Klaus and James help her getting stuff out of her shop. As morning rises, Shaw, make me a saving throw. Just no bonuses, minuses, just straight save.
Okay, here we go. 10 is my save. 20.
Yes.
Excellent.
What do you see, or how do you act now that you come back to who you were before this happened? As you see your friends and you see this old lady working on you and pouring down tea and liquids and making poultices and things, you're back to your normal self.
So I open my eyes and I say, "I have seen the work of the devil, and this now invigorates me to work harder to destroy them. They can rip from a man his mind and all that he knows with one simple glance. And do you have any sweet potatoes or something? Because I don't eat meat."
Oh, sweet potatoes are in my garden. I love them.
That would be amazing.
As the morning starts coming up and this is happening, Edward, you keep watch over the bodies you're burning, and like I say, nothing reanimates, nothing else happens. You start seeing some of the townsfolk at daylight and after daylight start awakening, and they all act like they're confused, and they just start making their way around, and they see you and maybe in the fire. Of course, the bodies are pretty much burned by now, but you see them just walking around like their normal selves again. And as we come to that will pretty much close out the adventure known as a sin that you leave behind. We go to you, Sir James, as customary. Tell me how this story ends for Sir James.
Sir James is relieved to see Shah come back to his former self and says, "Well, that was quite an encounter we had here, but we still have to make our way to Wigston Pay. The vampire is supposed to be running rampant. We shall have to investigate that town." And you see him return back to the wagon, the coach, and you see him open up a briefcase, and within it you see about sets of 8 steaks and a couple of 3 bottles of holy water. And he makes certain that his silver dagger is still there, and nods to himself, and he closes the lid. "Well, none of us has died except for poor Hansen. It's unfortunate what has happened to him." By the way, what did happen to Hansen?
You will find out before the story's over, trust me.
Okay. And then he closes that down, and he goes off to look for Hansen. And that's how the story ends for our dear
Sir James.
Sir James Bind.
Sir James has lived through another adventure. What about Shaw, that you've been restored by the kindness of this good witch?
So Shah's, after hearing that from Sir James, he's even more invigorated now to fight the forces of evil. He's also learned to maybe not run to the front when his associates have firearms. As he looks at all the wounds that he has, and 80% of them are from his allies.
Oh man!
Oh boy! But yeah, he can
What about our famous lycanthrope hunter that is retired because he's killed all the werewolves? Klaus has lived another adventure. What does it do for him now?
Klaus is pretty much discontent with his performance this time, and as he goes, knowing he's a tradesman and that he's probably the only one who knows how to work horses, and that begins to get the team together and hitch up the coach and get it all prepped, and he kind of sighs that sigh that the thrill is kind of gone for him. There are no more, once again, there's no werewolves for him, and he's thinking it might be a time to retire. And kind of looks over at Shaw and says, "You wouldn't be interested in some firearms, would you?"
I try
right,
to
Sir Edward, there's one thing you need to know at the end. Since you failed your save, you were permanently cursed by touching the head of Black Phillip, and I'll let you take that and handle it in the end of your story of what type of curse and how it affects you. That's your story.
Yeah, Edward spends the next couple of days trying to recover in town. And he keeps getting these weird looks from people. It looks like he's never gotten before. It's just odd. Usually his blonde hair, his piercing blue eyes, people seem to almost be enamored by him, but it just doesn't seem to be that way anymore. And he can't figure out why. And one day, as he is going down to the local stream to wash up, having had his wounds finally heal and everything, and he's getting ready to leave the town and go wherever the Twilight Defenders need him next. He's getting his rag good and soapy as he steps into the water, and he smiles and he smiles a bit, and as he looks down, a look of horror runs across his face as he sees in the water's reflection his black hair and red irises that seem to stare back into his own soul.
Oh, wow. Perfect. Nice. Before I add how the story ends in my view, the inspiration from this, or part of the inspiration, come from two movies, which, of course, you would probably know: The Witch, Black Phillip, if y'all have seen The Witch, and also another one was Black Death, about some witch hunters in a village. That's where part of the inspiration comes for this. But anyway, we start the next morning as everything is going on, and you're starting to head out to go conquer the vampire Wigston Pay, the city. You search the little cottage of where the beautiful, beautiful young woman who happened to be the bad witch of the village without a name. You go out there. You see stretched on a post with his arms out. His legs have been pierced, his arms. He's naked. He has daggers embedded into all of his body. You find the poor boy, the coachman known as Hanson, who has been brutally murdered by the witch and her cohorts here. He said he would take care of the witch or help her or whatever, but he had no idea what he was getting into, unfortunately. You take the body of Hanson down and maybe wrap it up and take it back for burial. Of course, the organization will take care of that and send funds to his family. We jump about, we'll say 2 weeks ahead now. You make your way to Wigston Pay. That may be another story we do one day, chasing down a vampire there, but that's for another day. But 2 weeks ahead, we jump to another little village. Village without a name. Small farming village. You see two children, a boy, a girl, maybe 9, 10, 11, walking back up to their farm. They have a rope they're pulling along. Attached to this rope is a black goat with these huge horns curled back and these red eyes. You see the father standing out there toiling around chopping wood. The little girl looks and goes, "Papa, Papa, look what we found. We found them out in the woods. May we keep them?" The father turns and he takes the axe and puts down into one of the sledges of wood there. And he looks and he goes, "Huh, look at those blazing red eyes. Ain't he a beaut? Yes, of course. We can keep him." That ends the story known as The Sin You Leave Behind.